Morning, folks. Morning Adventure, morning Pimped Up Monk. Morning folks. I think this deck is great. What's going on, Mr. Carnage? All right, short stream. We were super close to hitting Mythic the other day when we were playing the Teamer Climb deck, so I've spent a bunch of the dealer's choice points that people say, hey, put this towards decks you want, and I've bumped Blue-Green Climb, and I've bumped Mono Blue Tempo, which are, I think, two of the more competitive decks that we had in the queue. There's a lot of decks there that are, like, varying degrees of competitive, but I like both of these decks. This is actually one of my favorite decks in the format right now. This is very similar to the Teamer deck that we played, but without the red splash. So we're going to go ahead and jump in and play some match with this. I think I'm Diamond 2 at the moment. I played a match or two off stream the other day and got up to Diamond 2, so... This hand's fine. Not amazing, but fine. It's actually, if we, since we're on the draw, if we hit a untapped green source on one, this hand's very good. If we miss on an untapped green, it's like still okay. That is not the untapped green I wanted for Christmas. Let's use Incubation here and dig for an Explore creature to follow up this Wildgrowth Walker. Alright, so definitely playing that out. Hey, what's going on, Boomer? If I come run the Chicago Marathon, can I get a high five? I'm still pretty far from Chicago. So I live like 2 hours south of there. Okay, just go Wildgrowth Walker here. The goal here is going to be to... Our deck doesn't have a ton of actual removal in it. So our goal in a matchup like this is definitely going to be to try and get some power of our own in play so we can race them efficiently. So I'm going to lead on Llanowar Elves to try and bait a counterspell here. I'm intentionally playing this before I play a land out for the turn, because if they think I might be missing a land drop, they might be more inclined to counterspell this. Update Stream Decker, yep. Alright, Stream Decker should be current. I usually do one stream over the weekend. It's just usually not scheduled. I like to leave... I stream a lot during the week, so I like to leave my weekend schedule flexible, depending on, like, what the plans are with the family. So, like, yesterday was actually Jake's birthday, so we, Christy and I took him out for the day along with Declan, and then what else did we do? We had some friends over last night. What's a pirate's favorite R&B singer? R. Kelly, of course. No, I only play Magic Online during the week when I'm working. When I play Magic on the weekends for fun, I choose to play Magic Arena. Hey Brian, thanks for the 25 months. I appreciate that. Welcome. Have you played with Growth Chamber before? Yeah, a ton. This is one of the best cards in the standard format. It's very, very good. That one can stay right there because it'll trigger Wildgrowth Walker next turn. Hey, Skryel, thanks for the 4 months. Welcome back, folks. Hope everybody's having a good one. Yeah, Crooker, are you a tier 2 or a tier 3 sub? Just so I know what to validate for. Just tier 1. As a heads up, tier 1 and prime subs do not get to bump something in the deck queue every month. It's only tier 2 and tier 3s that get a bonus. Tier 1 subs can add decks at a lower rate. You just, like, not have disruption one time. Don't. Actually, we're actually not in that bad of a spot here. So, like, with this Llanowar Elf here, if I manage to like draw a land next turn, I can like play Krasis for X's 4. Honestly, even if I miss on the land next turn, I'm probably gonna play Krasis for X's 3 just to like have a flying blocker out. Ideally, I'd like to do it for 4 though, so that way I can like trade with a Jin if they draw it, but getting this down for X's 3 would still be fine just as a blocker in this matchup. This card blocking plus Wildgrowth Walker are the 2 ways we tend to race in this matchup. Alright, so I have a decision to make here. I feel like we'll do Croaker, thank you. And no worries, that's why I ask. So if I play a Krasis for 3 here, I think they're inclined to counter it if they have a counter spell. So I'm actually going to play the Krasis for 3 as bait this turn, hoping that they'll counter this, and then this will get to resolve next turn and gain me 6. Because if this gains me 6 and makes this bigger, I'm probably winning this by a pretty significant margin. Like if either of these things happen, I'm likely to win this race, just because like both of these things like this makes it hard for them to actually race me, and this makes it so I just have so much power and so much life that they're also not going to be able to race me. Perfect. And then since this resolved, I'm actually going to go ahead and attack with this Growth Chamber Guardian, just because I've got plenty to do with my mana. So if they want to trade here, I'm okay with that. Yeah, I agree, Persip. This like I said when we were playing the Teamer deck the other day, I'm not sure if the red splash is worthwhile, and this is how I would build the Teamer deck that we played the other day without the red cards. Hey, Beepo, thanks for the 2-month resub. I appreciate you re-upping that Twitch Prime. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. If they have another Merfolk Trickster in their hand, they could, like, end step, diddle my Krasis, attack me. I agree, Math. I love the play patterns that deck generates. We have a dive down here. Deal. This game is close right now, but I think we're a little bit ahead, and if they don't have a counterspell or a Merfolk Trickster next turn, we are going to put ourselves in a winning position. So they just don't have attacks here, right? How many cards are in here? 3. I'm actually going to go ahead and block this Terramander to force them to activate it, because I think if they force this activation here, they can't counterspell, and then I get to play Jadelight plus Hadana Climb and likely kill them next turn. And like, this guarantees my 2 spells resolve. Uh-oh. Well, now I just do that, right? Huh. Hey, thanks for the Bezo Buck 7. Welcome back. I appreciate that. I think it might honestly just be that both roads lead to Rome here. It's like Vivien shoot down the Terramander. I think I'm supposed to just play the Jadelight Ranger in the climb here. Because the one thing that's really important in this matchup that doesn't come up too often is that you can actually use climb defensively. So once we get climb down and we get that flipped over, like defensive climb's like a very real thing in these matchups. Hey, Sailor Dark with the brand new Prime support. Thanks for all the Bezo bucks, folks. There's a lot of great people you can send those to on Twitch every month. Thanks for sending them here. Hey, what's going on, Math Precision? Thanks for the third of a year. Welcome back. We do have a new sponsor here. I've seen people throw on the sponsor link there in chat. I'm trying something new with this sponsor this time around. So, Quip is a product that I've used personally. I've actually been using them for my toothbrush for like the last 2 months now, month and a half, 2 months, something like that. I don't want to say an exact date range, so I don't know off the cuff. I should probably have looked that up when they sent me that. But if you pick up one of the Quip toothbrushes using... No, I mentioned Evan. I thought I mentioned Evan. No, I caught him. I said hi to Evan. If you pick up the Quip toothbrush using my affiliate link for it, I'm going to be... And you sign in using your Twitch name. So when you click through on my link for the Quip, it's going to ask you for your Twitch login. If you give it your Twitch login, I'm going to go ahead and give you 25 points to bump something in the deck queue. So, if you are in the market for a toothbrush and we're thinking about bumping something in the deck queue anyways, or if you weren't in the market for a toothbrush and we're thinking about bumping something in the deck queue, consider checking them out. I had a nightmare yesterday that you took. I had a nightmare that you took yesterday off. You went down to 4,100 sub points. I mean, we are below 4,300. Like I told you, they fall off constantly. Only brush my teeth for 2 minutes. I'm actually very good about my dental health. If I use a water flosser, I have a little pick flosser that I use pretty consistently. Use mouthwash every day, etc. Go to the dentist every 6 months, all that jazz. Block. Hey, turn 3 Karn Daddy. Thanks for the biddies. I appreciate the support. Hope you're having a good one wherever you're at. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and attack with both of these. So what happens if I go like this? So if I attack like this, and they like eat both of these, I just kill them. If I attack like this, and they go like eat, block, I use Wing Temple and kill them. I think I'm supposed to actually attack with everything here. Hey, Lord of the Pearl Trident. Thanks for the 5 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Like I said, I think this matchup is pretty okay for us. Like, I don't think it's like a buy by any means, but I think I'd rather be on our side of the table in this matchup for sure. This is definitely a Zegana out matchup. I think this is actually a Vivien out matchup. Also, she's like, okay, like 5 mana cards that get Spell Pierce feel real bad in this matchup in general. I think I actually want the Ixalan's Diviner in this matchup, just to have an extra way to trigger Wildgrowth Walker. Just like any game where you like gain 6 or more off Wildgrowth Walker is like very good for this, very good in this matchup. What are you doing, tiny man? You wanna put your Batman costume on?
It's Jacob's.
That's Jacob's. You can borrow it though. Put your arm in.
Is this a cape?
It's a cape. Yep. It's got a hood on it. Do you want to show the internet the Batman costume?
It only a cape? It's only a cape?
Say, I am Batman.
I am Batman.
Good job. Good job.
I think this is actually a blanket.
It's kind of like a blanket. All right, can you go upstairs?
It actually is.
Go upstairs and trim up and close the door behind you. Thank you. Thank you, D. So I think this is how I want to board. I wouldn't hate leaving some Spell Pierces in, but I'm not sure that they're better than any of the other cards I currently have here, so... He did close the door. They're better, they're getting better at listening. This hand is very good. What's going on, D20? No, I think I'm pretty confident that that's not what we're looking for, but it's better than missing. I'm pretty confident that Spell Pierce is good. I think Spell Pierce is very good in the format right now. Even like the aggressive decks tend to have a lot of cards that like you want to be Spell Piercing. Okay. So we're not in a great spot at the moment. Yeah, so like, do I lead on Incubation and like try and hit a Jadelight and race, or do I just Incongruity the Tempest Shin and like leave them a 3/3 ground pounder? I think I'm supposed to exile the Jin. I'm kind of in a bad spot regardless, but like I think I'm definitely losing. If I leave this in play. So I think this just has to happen. The problem is like I think there's a good chance they just like have a second Jin since they jammed the first one without leaving protection up. What's going on, Nox and Cross? Thank you for the 15 months. I appreciate that. Welcome. Leading on Growth Chamber Guardian here, hoping to bait a counterspell if they have one. Fantastic. That one can stay right there. I think I'm probably in a position to be chump blocking a 4/4 next turn. Incongruity is an instant, but there's no reason to let my opponent untap there. I think this resolving actually changes my mind on chump blocking. Okay, if they tap out again next turn, we could be in an okay spot. Not attacking here because I would like to trade for their 2/2. Our goal here is to just play defense until we stabilize the board and then pivot into a more aggressive role. If they attack with this 4/4, I'm going to go ahead and trade my 4/4 here. Unless they attack. If they attack with 1/1s and the 4/4, I'm going to go ahead and eat a 1/1. But if they just attack with this, I'm going to trade 4/4 for 4/4 here. Yeah, so this attack here means I'm going to block like this. Zer, thank you for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people you can ship those Bezo bucks to every month. Thanks for shipping them here. Alright, sweet. So, I think because they played a Tempest Jin here, I'm actually just playing this for X's 5. Just getting a solid blocker down. Yeah, this card being like a flying blocker is another reason why this matchup's like pretty reasonable. Like I said, not by no means a buy, but this matchup has a lot of play to it in my experience. Double blocking's a good suggestion. I like that, Trek. I think you're right. I think it's basically all upside to block there, pretty much, with the second one. But beating dive down is relevant. I agree with you. Alright, so a land here lets them pop off this Terramander. Entrancing Melody's a card someone mentioned earlier. That's a scary card as well. They could opt into a land and pop off the Terramander. Just go for 6 here. No, I don't think we're in a position to beat an Entrancing Melody this game, so I'm not going to worry about it. Really no reason to hold this back. If they want to trade 2/2/2s on the ground for it, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, we can play Entrancing Melody, but like, yeah, Dead to Sleep too. I wonder if I'm supposed to board in Sleep in this matchup. Interesting question. I wonder if my climbs are better than me just playing Sleep. They're probably better. Oh, Storm Tamer counter Sleep. Yeah, good call. That makes Sleep real bad. I'm just gonna click Submit on the play here. Just try for a little bit more aggressive draw. I think outside of Sleep there, we're pretty good set to dumpster them. Usually they only have like 2 Sleep at most. I don't think it's worth. I don't think it's worth bringing in Spell Pierce to like try and counter things like Sleep. Maybe it is. You can see. I think if I wanted to have counterplay against Sleep, would definitely be Pierce and not Climb. Maybe like go down to 1 Climb and like leave 2 Pierces in is reasonable. I can see that. Could see that being fine. We had Tempo Storm Stream. Yeah, we've been a Tempo Storm Stream for a little bit now. We picked them up at the start of January, over a month now. How long am I streaming for this morning? I don't know. Probably 3, maybe 4 hours at most. We'll see what the numbers are like. I'm not expecting numbers to be great today, just because like the Star City Games Open is going as well. I wanted to play a couple of decks out of the queue and see if we could hit Mythic, playing a couple of good ones. How do you know, did they post the day 2 metagame breakdown? How do you know there's a large amount of Nexus at SCG? Gonna go ahead and leave that there. Hopefully this will be a game where we just race them on the play. Yep, yeah, Quip Toothbrush is the new sponsor. I'm gonna bin that. I'll bin that one as well. For 5 here. This could easily just be a game where we just like race them on the play, especially with Climb and Thrash in hand So just so in case people are coming in, you haven't looked at the deck list of this on the screen yet, we are playing this purely for the Thrash side of the card. There are no red lands in our decks. This is just a mono green removal spell for us, effectively. Sure, so you're saying you have no actual data and you're just like making stuff up to push a narrative that you see fit to push. Is that a good TLDR? You're pushing a narrative that you want to push. Yeah, I think I'm only doing 2. We'll see. If the numbers are good, I might do a 3rd, but I mean, personal experience is a singular data point, but yeah, in general, like. So I mean, like, so you're just looking for me to like make up information to like validate how you feel, basically. You're like looking to have me tell you, no, it's not going to be banned, so that way you can feel good about crafting it. I don't really know what you're looking for. The plural of anecdote does not equal data. That's such a good saying. I'm gonna steal that one in the future. I wonder, so I didn't talk about this the turn it happened, but I think the turn I got my Hadana's Climb Wizard retorted, I actually made a mistake, and I should have used Thrash to kill. I should have used Thrash to kill one of their things before I did that, I think. I should have used Thrash to kill the Siren Storm Tamer before playing the Hadana's Climb, so that way the Hadana's Climb could have potentially resolved. Transing Melody's a little brutal here. Gonna get 2 for 1 by this. Feels bad. Another decks that seem powerfully. I think that is a bad way to tune decks, Persip. So, in my opinion, the best way. Magic is a game where there's just so many different combinations of cards that can fit into basically every deck. And that's what makes Magic such an interesting deck building problem to be solving. The appropriate way to approach deck building in Magic, in my opinion, especially when you're tuning a deck that already exists, is you should be looking at problems that deck has and then asking yourself, how do you solve those problems by making changes? So just saying, hey, this deck, you know, by saying, hey, you know, what problem does Entrancing Melody solve? I can't think of any. Maybe you've played some games and you're like, oh, this deck has this issue and Entrancing Melody solves it. And I can't think of an issue this deck has that I'm solving by adding that card offhand. I'm just gonna go digging for a friend here. I think I'd rather have a Branchwalker than a Wildgrowth Walker on an empty hand. Sure, but I don't have a problem. You're right, the card does that, but that's not the question I asked. The question I asked was, what problem do I have that you're solving by adding that card? I don't think opposing Krasis, whatever you want to call them, are an issue for this deck. So again, you're working to try and solve a problem that we don't have. Hey, Peace God MC, thanks for the 9 months. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. That seems like not amazing, but it's really hard to pass up. Turn 1 elf, turn 2 climb. Hopefully we draw some spells. Yeah, not only can you, like, jump over other Krasis decks with, like, climb, or you can kill them with other with, like, Vivien and stuff like that, but, like, we also just, like, can, like, use sleep and go through them and stuff like that. Cast Thought Erasure. Rats! Rats! Thought we were gonna get him. Spell Pierce probably isn't a terrible draw here against Esper if we find a threat. Ooh, they don't have a land. Alright, well, unfortunately, Screw tends to beat Flood, so hopefully we draw some spells before they draw some lands. Yikes. Yikes. I'm actually gonna wait a turn on this, because if I wait till next turn to play this, I can actually play it, adapt it, and Spell Pierce all in the same turn, which would be ideal. One little, 2 little, 3 little squadron crabs, 4 little, 5 little, 6 little squadron crabs. Do 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 do. Love me some Spell Pierce, chat. Love me some spells. What do you say are the main problems of this deck? I have no idea. I've been winning almost every match I play with it. I think this deck is very good. If I thought there were problems with it, I'd be working to solve them, but I've been pretty close to the same list for a little while now. Man, I love removal spells that aren't dead against control. They're so busted. Alright, so... Wow, that just worked. All right, I genuinely was not prepared for that to just work. Is Temur Climb better or worse? Also don't know the answer to that question. So, I think I'm just supposed to pass here because I have enough pressure in play that if they have a copy of Kaya's Wrath, they need to cast it. A lot of these decks aren't playing Subtle Wreckage anymore. Alright, and again, just no reason to extend here. Because it's a wet fart. Whenever I play against these control decks, it's just like we get to the end of it, I'm just like, what are you doing with your life, control deck? Like I feel like they just do nothing and concede way too often. It's just like, what's the deal with control decks anyways? They just do nothing and concede, or is that just my take on it? Alright, so we cut Wildgrowth Walker, even though it has like an okay amount of power. The health gain doesn't really matter, so I'd rather just have other creatures. We bring in Vivien Reid and the Negates. We bring in Carnage Tyrant. I don't mind trimming 1 climb, just because it can be kind of hard to get this flipped in the control matchup, just because they kill your creatures a lot. I cut a couple of Incubation Incongruities because if you look here at my creature count post board, I'm going down to 23 creatures. And I think anytime you're boarding lower than like 25 creatures, you probably want to cut some of this because Incubation has increasing probabilities to miss finding a creature, especially once you get below 25. I think once you're under 25, you're like 1 in 10 or more to miss, which is a pretty big miss rate in my opinion. I don't think the Gates matchup is that bad for this deck. I think it's winnable. I think it's pretty close to a coin flip. I have not seen his deck list, so I do not have opinions on it. I also haven't played that much mono blue. The mono blue list we have that I'm gonna play second today is one that a viewer submitted. So, nope. You can watch all the videos. Pretty much all my Magic playing is done on stream. I played like 2 matches off stream, and it was with this climb deck. So that's why I always try to include the wrap-up segment at the end, so when I talk about any changes I might make. That seems like fine. Like any hand that doesn't have land worlds in it, like isn't your best hand, but like turn 2 Growth Chamber, like turn 3 Climb / Jadelight, like can't really ask for too much more. Double tap land start from the opponent. God bless. Play Grizzly Crab. What rank am I? We are Diamond 2. Come at me. So I assume I'm losing Climb here. See people checking out the new sponsor in chat. They do really awesome electric toothbrushes that are a really good price point. Their cheapest one is for $25. If you, as a special promotion I'm running, I'm trying this with a sponsor for the first time. If you pick up a Quip toothbrush using my link and you sign in using your Twitch account, I'm going to let you bump a deck in the deck queue by 25 points as a thank you for checking out the sponsor. So if you're thinking about bumping something in the deck queue by about 25 bucks anyways, why don't you get a toothbrush and check that out. Yikes, that's pretty good. Okay. Would really like to draw a land here. It's unfortunate. I guess I can lead on Branchwalker here to try and find a land drop. That is unfortunate again. What makes it better than any old electronic toothbrush? So the previous electric toothbrush that I had was, and most of the ones I've seen, the brush head spins in a circle, and that always kind of irritated my gums a little bit, but I use the electric toothbrush that's what the dentist recommends, right? So the Quip just vibrates side to side, which is nice. So for me personally, at least, and I am not a tooth expert, so like consult your dentist if you want to talk to an actual tooth expert or whatever they're referred to. But I like it because it vibrates. And the price point's also much better than a lot of other electronic toothbrushes. So I didn't tap 2 Forest there, Reg, because I wanted to be, my goal in hitting the second land was I wanted to be able to play this Growth Chamber Guardian. And if my Merfolk Branchwalker found a what's it called, I wouldn't be able to do that. My Merfolk Branchwalker had found an island, I wouldn't have been able to do that. No blocks. So at this point, do I just hold up Negate? I think I just hold up Negate, right? I also, like, knock them to 3. I think I'm just holding up Negate. There's really no reason not to. Just bump Turkey Sloth. So you can bump something already in the queue by that point amount, by 25 points. Yes, yeah, exactly. Like Crab plays well with counterspell. So the reason why I'm activating Crab in response to Thief of Sanity here is because this way my opponent can't play a second land and then cast down my Growth Chamber Guardian in response. Land, please. Land, please. That's frustrating. All right, so if I would have hit a land, Zegana would have given these trample, which would have been real good here. I've not seen the Drake's list to which you are referring. They're gonna cast Kaya's Wrath and I'm gonna be sad. This isn't a list that I copied from somewhere, but like this, I don't think there's really anything super innovative about this specific deck list that I'm playing.
I can no longer stand by and watch.
Yep.
Let's take it back.
I don't know Wraithad. Unlike a lot of people who stream a lot of Magic, like you're not gonna hear me sit here and like try and tell you things that I know with certainty that I don't know. It's like I haven't played much Mono Blue. In fact, the Mono Blue list coming up next is the first time we played it this season, so I'm taking a deck list that someone gave me and we're just like playing it card for card. So, I think we're probably dead here. I think at this point things are a little bit too far gone for us. I think if I would have hit the 4th land by turn like 5 or 6, we probably would have been okay, but missing it this far probably means that Teferi's just going to take things over for us. No, I wanted to give my opponent a chance to make a mistake, Rogue. I didn't want them to block with Hostage Taker, because this Teferi probably means I lose the game. Hey, Brahminate, thanks for checking out the sponsor. Thanks for picking up a quip. Hope you enjoy it. Drop me a DM from your Twitch account, and I will I'll be happy to let you get something added in the queue, or bumped up in the queue. Bloop bloop. I'm gonna concede this turn if we don't draw a 4th land. I feel vindicated. Oh, did it not? That setting must not have stuck. Yeah. I'm happy with how I sideboarded. We just didn't draw lands. The white line is, so the sponsor for Quip and Harry's are an advertising company that is working with integrations there. So like when you purchase a Quip by logging in with your Twitch, it pops up on screen, give you on-screen recognition for checking out the sponsor. So their alert box, they're still having some small issues with it looks like. You don't need to refresh. That was on my end. It was something that I changed and fixed. So that was caught on my OBS end. That keeps happening. I'll have to forward some feedback to them. Yeah, I agree. I think that's like the next level of like engagement with Twitch, right? And I think that's a big thing, right? Because like a lot of the people who are watching Twitch are like watching and engaging with Twitch because they want something that's interactive, right? Otherwise you'd like be watching YouTube or Netflix or whatnot. This hand's a little speculative, but I don't know. I have lands. I might be a little slighted from the last game that we played. The other thing is that like my opponent's deck's a Thought Erasure deck, so like mulliganing against the Thought Erasure deck tends to be like a really miserable game experience, so it's not something I'm inclined to do. Yeah, I agree that this deck tends to line up well into Esper Control, which again, in this format, nothing's like a 100-0 matchup, but I think on average, we're ahead here. Drawing the second Growth Chamber Crab, Growth Chamber Guardian, after you have a first one feels real bad. Hey, what's going on, Volcanic, I appreciate the 6 months. Welcome back. I guess I should have waited to play my land out here. If they have a Kaya's Wrath, we're probably dead, but that's just what it is. Just like some games you can beat a Wrath and some games you can't. We are at least representing Spell Pierce, like they think about it, but I think if they have Kaya's Wrath here, they probably just like head to the Space Jam and kill us. Just a piece of spot removal is real good for us here. Hadana's Climb is great. That is definitely a card that could help us steal this game. Hey, Tristan, thanks for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here and shipping your Bezo bucks this way this month. There's a lot of great people you can send those to. Awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed the YouTube stuff. Welcome to a live one. There's a good heads up for everybody, especially if there are folks watching this on YouTube in the future. If my normal live schedule doesn't jive or line up well with whatever your schedule is to poke in on Twitch, you can drop your Twitch Prime off even when I'm offline, and I really appreciate the people that take the time to do that.
Trust me, you'll thank me later.
Let's take a peek here. Hey, Tasty, thanks for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Hope you're having a good one wherever you're at. Welcome, welcome. No, Hadana cannot tap using its own mana. There's a Llanowar Elves in play that tapped. I think I'd rather have Hydroid Krasis here. It is worth noting that they don't have mana for Kaya's Wrath. So I think I Hydroid Krasis, but then I'm going to use Climb to have this Krasis kill Teferi this turn. I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know, Jackal Girl. Everybody is playing Esper, so it must be good. But whenever I play Esper, it feels like a medium pile of dog poop. The Esper mid-range deck, like Wyatt Darby's Esper Hero deck, seems reasonable, but like actual Esper control has just felt rancid every time I've played it. I don't understand the appeal of, like, not playing Niv Mizzet in your control deck. Really, Niv Mizzet is a busted card. You know, it's okay to not like things, but, like, there's no need to, like, you know, don't come in and yuck someone else's yum, right? There's no need to, like, announce to the world you're super upset with Nexus and are leaving, right? Just, like, take a break. It's okay. It's okay. Nexus does create some real medium gameplay. I agree. Yeah, but, like, Jeskai gets to play Teferi as well, right? So, like, I don't understand the appeal. I ended up pulling the Ascendancy deck off of the queue and getting to the person that added it to add something else. Because I kept building different Simic Ascendancy shells, and they basically all just ended up being bad versions of this deck.
Keep up the pace.
When I build oh, that probably locks the game up. When I build decks on stream or build around decks, I try not to have them just be like worse versions of something else.
Of time.
I wonder, so this is, I wonder if I'm supposed to have, like, waited on, so this is, how many lands do I have? I have 4, 9, so this is land number 10. So I'm going to go ahead and attack with both of these, right? If the Llanowar Elf let me draw an extra card, I would go ahead and activate it. But because it doesn't let me draw an extra card, I'm just going to hang tight. I'm assuming they don't have a counterspell here. Because if they had a counterspell, they would have countered my Negate. Because they know this last card is Krasis. Because I got it earlier off this Incubation. So if they have a counterspell for this, I think they really messed up. Like if they have like an Absorb. Yeah, not surprised to see this resolve. And, like, now that we, like, drew Vivien, even if they, like, draw a land for Kaya's Wrath here, I get to, like, untap and play Vivien and start generating card advantage with that. He's dead, Jim. You got him. They're actually dead on board, right? This is lethal. Well, this is lethal through the blockers. I get to play this, shoot the Thief of Sanity, climb this, hit them for 7. I agree. The closing power of Jeskai cannot be understated. No one, only people who are like grinding really hardcore are gonna have a chance to play at the PAX tournament. I mostly just want to like, I'm mostly playing a couple of good decks this morning to like get into Mythic, so that way we could just like say we're Mythic and like not have to worry about like losing rank and play all the future decks in Mythic. Roughly how long until Mono Blue? I have no idea. Probably at least until we win a match, lose a match with this. If we just keep winning, if we just like win 6 matches in a row with this, we're probably just gonna be. Actually, if we win 6 matches in a row with this, I'm probably not gonna play Mono Blue. I'm probably gonna play something else that was towards the top of the queue. Deal. Nah, I don't read too much Magic stuff anymore, especially constructed Magic stuff. In general, I shy away from reading written constructed content from people who are playing on the Mythic Championship, previously the Pro Tour, because those types of people tend to be withholding a lot of information in the weeks leading up to the Mythic Championship. I don't know how long I'm going to be streaming for today. Jersey Guy, thank you for the 9 months. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. How long I stream for today depends on how many viewers we end up at, which we're actually already at 1,000. I wasn't sure, not sure how many people we're gonna get to since we're streaming standard against the standard SCG Open. So like we don't have another spell in our hand, but our curve here is actually like super reasonable because like I get to go ahead. I wonder if I should have kept that just because it's another threat. Probably should have kept that because it's another threat. I was gonna say if they Kaya's Wrath Maggot to untap and play Vivien, but like now that I just have this one Jadelight Ranger, things are a little bit medium for us. Yeah, I agree. 1k with the open is great. I'm gonna attack first here because if they kill this, I'll play Vivien. They know about this Vivien. If this eats an absorb, that's a win for us. Yep. I played the land out before I played that so we could play around Syncopate. Heal. Alright. Probably just gonna concede when this doesn't resolve. Hey, what's going on, Joyce Potato? Thanks for keeping me around, I appreciate it. Yeah, I guess maybe I should wait till they play a Teferi. I guess I could draw a Krasis there. I guess I could draw a Krasis there. That's probably like a half turn too soon on the concession. Pretty easy in, 2 out. I'm just... Oh, can a mod fix that? I banned them. I meant to time them out rather than yell at people. I don't actually think that concession's that's early. I think that concession is pretty well in line. As soon as they hit a piece of card advantage, the game is done, but maybe I should wait for them to see card advantage. Like, people who think they're still really in games like that are the people who are, like, writing giant Reddit posts complaining about Teferi being too good because they don't understand, like, when the game's actually over. Yeah, it was a little too fast, but not way too fast. I agree. We were, if they didn't draw a Teferi and we drew a Krasis, we were maybe in the game, but, like, those are pretty big maybes. The advantage bar is definitely solidly on my opponent's side at that point. Lands, Accelerate, Negate is, like, pretty hard to pass up. Hopefully we draw some spells off the top. Generally speaking, if your hand only needs to draw one type of thing, in this case gas, we should be okay. I'm just gonna use my mana. I like my Llanowar Elf. We go way back. I'm just gonna use my mana. All right, that's this is just how Magic goes sometimes, you know. Okay. I mean, they're missing blue mana. Hand is very good against Thunderation, you're not wrong. We play Modern and Legacy on Magic Online every morning during the week to start the stream off. I don't really enjoy playing Limited though, no. So we're pretty far behind at this point. The question is, do I want to play around to Kaya's Wrath? I don't think so. I think they're just, like, dead in 2 here if they just keep doing nothing. So I'm going to go ahead and play the Growth Chamber Guardian out and, like, hope to, like... Wow, they killed the one... Well, that's really good for me. Yeah, they definitely should have killed the 2/2 there. Bye, Felicia. Oh, I love counter spells. They're so good. I love playing creatures with counter spells. I love playing creatures with counter spells. It's just the bee's knees, chat. And then I'm not playing this out just in case they draw another land and have, like, Kaya's plus Spell Pierce or something silly. Stop it. Angry. Proactive counterspell decks. Proactive counterspell decks are my favorite types of decks to play in Magic. So, like, get on the board, counter your stuff. Which, like, I like the mono blue deck is actually a deck I kind of enjoy too. This deck's better at playing from behind though. Are you able to see how many people you have banned on your channel? There's a list of them I can pull up, I believe. Alright, we get a third game. Let's do it. The 4th Negate feels like it was a good addition to the board. No, decks that are still in my stream title are decks that we have yet to play. I'm not 100% that we're playing mono blue. Today's an extra bonus stream, so we're not, like, following the strict deck queue schedule like we do on other days. We're going to keep playing this deck until it loses, maybe until it loses twice. This is my favorite deck in the format. Mono blue or RDW, whichever one you enjoy playing. If you enjoy playing aggressive counterspell decks, then mono blue is better. If you enjoy playing burn decks, then the red deck is better. I think both those decks are very competitive, and you should pick which one you prefer based on your preferred playstyle. Sounds fine. So, like, hands like this, you need to remember that, like, this is basically a 2-drop a lot of the times. This will be like a 2 or 3 mana creature, which means this hand is fine. You boarded in Duress? Gross. I guess I did board in a lot of counterspells. There's 23 creatures in my deck? Really? Okay. Interesting. Well, I'm glad I drew a creature. I wonder if we're getting Thought Erasure here on 2, and that's why they let us keep the Negate. Yeah, that makes sense. And this is a reason why, like my game 2 keep was, like, a little bit mediocre, but, like, this is such a fantastic example of why you just, like, keep hands like that in these matchups. because, like, your opponent's just gonna, like, punch you in the face a couple of times with discard spells anyway, so you basically just want to keep any hand that has lands and spells. Perfect. I think I'm actually... Nah, I'm just gonna jam this, and I'm not playing around Syncopate. That's pretty unreasonable. Get this breeding pool tapped. Maybe I'm supposed to keep that, actually. Because I can, like, play that plus hold up Negate next turn. JK. Can play this plus hold up Negate now. Alright, so we're done here. Welcome. Welcome to Diamond 1. Another impressive Esper performance, I agree. I mean, it must be good. People are doing well with it in tournaments. That's why things like this, these Esper performances, really make me wish we had starting tournament distributions, because I am dying to know, like, is Esper outperforming Jeskai because it's better and putting up better results, or are people just not registering Jeskai? Like, what's the deal? Oh no, please don't Kaya's Wrath me. Please don't Kaya's Wrath me.
Let's see if you'll work.
So there actually is a reason to not play around Syncopate there, Balthazar, and the reason to not play around Syncopate is because Syncopate's going to be live as this matchup goes later. So if they Syncopate my Merfolk Branchwalker on 2, that's actually a win for me, especially when I'm holding an incredibly powerful and expensive card like Vivien Reid. Getting a counterspell used on my 2-drop as opposed to my Planeswalker later is valuable. So I think it's actually strictly correct to not play around the counterspell there. So, so this is a really important thing to know, because I think a lot of new players especially don't understand this. So, someone in chat just said there, people are not playing Jeskai in tournaments. If you look at the last 2/3 of Jeskai SCG deck list, there's no Jeskai. So, SCG only posts the top performing decks at their tournaments. So the fact that there was no Jeskai in the top 64 of the last SCG tournament, the last 2 SCG tournaments, that doesn't mean that people aren't playing Jeskai. It means Jeskai isn't finishing the top performing decks. It could mean that people aren't playing Jeskai and that's why it's not there, but it could also mean nobody played it and that's why it's not there. The actual answer is we don't know. And looking at those lists and coming to the conclusion that no one was playing it is not correct. You can't draw that conclusion from the data that we have. Hopefully they play Rhythm of the Wild here so I can use the Spell Pierce. I mean, and so this is actually another important thing to point out here. SCG's not hiding data, Pinky, so much as they're just not going out of their way to collect it. Collecting full data for something like the SCG tournament is tedious and time consuming, and SCG is a for-profit company, right? Like, why are they going to do that? Are they making money off of it? Like, SCG's not inclined to produce full tournament data because it's not profitable for them to do so, most likely, based on how much time it takes. I'm gonna block here because I get to eat their thing. I do take another 3 here, which feels a little bit bad, but I think that's the correct thing to do. It also meant if they had Collision Colossus, I would still trade. Think there'll be a sale of any form? I don't know. I hate when people ask me to ask questions that predict the future. I know just as much as you do. Yeah, like, Wizards of the Coast has complete Magic Online data, so they are withholding information, right? Like, they have full data compiled, and they're just not sharing it, whereas SCG doesn't have full data compiled. Huh. So I think I climb hit the Jadelight Ranger, flip the climb, and then post-combat play my other Jadelight Ranger? No, I don't think so. I think it's just they haven't done it yet. No reason to attack here. Want to find another land here, ideally, so we can play this Krasis as a big boy next turn. Ooh, that's actually really good. That'll take care of the Phoenix. Sure, you can submit decklist digitally, but it's not required. And until it's required, you wouldn't be able to easily create full things. Incubation Incongruity is very good. It's the reason why this deck is playable. What's going on, Ed, bro? Yeah, I'm honestly really surprised we've hit 1,000 people today. Was definitely not expecting that with SCG going on. No. Yeah, so the 5-0 Magic Online deck lists are intentionally artificially diverse. So we're really hoping to draw a land next turn that's not Breeding Pool, so that way I can play this Krasis with X's 6 and draw 3 cards, gain 3 life. I agree. Paper Magic is very as someone who's been playing Magic for over a decade, watching Paper Magic is difficult and tedious. We're here because you're trying hard today. God bless. All right, so I don't think it's worth. Is it worth paying 1 life to get an extra card off this Krasis? So if I shock this in, I end up at 7. If I play this tapped, I end up at 8. Probably worth it. They have Collision Colossus here. Collision Colossus killing my Krasis, I think, is still a win for me, because that card's really scary inside of combat. That card's not particularly good on this board state. Well, it's a 2-turn clock, actually, right? It's 2 turns with the climb in play. So, I don't want to draw this, but I want this Jadelight Ranger to be a 4/3, so I'm going to put this on top of my library, and then I'm going to discard it. So I used to have occasional bleeding in my gums with my old brush, and I don't have that anymore with the Quip. It vibrates side to side as opposed to spinning in a circle. And obviously, I would encourage you to go online and like read reviews from actual dental professionals, because I'm just an idiot with the webcam who like brushes his teeth every day. So there's a lot of good partial reviews. So that's a good question. I didn't pump with the winged temple here because I might need the winged temple pump to not die to Collision Colossus this turn inside of combat. I also might need it to not die to a random flying haste creature here. So, like, they give this haste and attack, I can, like, make this a defensive. please. I repeat, we have liftoff. During my fun money at Jeff so he can achieve his dreams of going to school to become a dentist to give his professional opinion on Quip. Yeah, I go to a dentist every 6 months. My dentist says my things are fine. Occasionally if you brush too hard, it's not good. Alright, what are they? They're like an aggro deck. Diviner. It's probably a Vivien out matchup. I think I want my Thrash threats here. This is probably a bad Spell Pierce matchup, right? My hair is not pink because we are waiting to see if we can hit the 4,400 sub-point stretch goal to do my beard as well. I would encourage you to go to the dentist sooner rather than later. I actually got really lucky during the last part of my undergrad and grad school. I didn't go to the dentist for like two and a half years. And like when I eventually went back, I just like didn't have any cavities, just had some extra plaque built up, had some irritation, and then with regular brushing and cleaning and using a little bit of mouthwash and flossing, it ended up getting back to better. Sleep, this could be a sleep matchup. I don't know if sleep is good enough. So like they're really aggressive, which I think means I just rather have more creatures than sleep here. So like I'm like looking at all, so while I think sleep is fine, I'm just like looking at all the cards I have in my deck right now, and I don't think sleep is better than any of the cards I'm already playing. Yeah, dental and vision being separate from normal health insurance is one of the many things that's messed up about health insurance in the United States. We're talking about brushing teeth and dentist because we have an electric toothbrush sponsor. Lysandra's great against an aggro deck. No, never board out Llanowar Elves. Never, ever. There are decks and games and matches in Magic's history where you like board out accelerants. Never board out Llanowar Elves in this deck. If you are playing this deck, never board them out. I would have played either this deck or the Teamer deck that we played the other day. These are the two decks that I really like in this format. If they don't kill this, the game is over. Yeah, so all the sponsors that are scrolling on my thing over here, up above the chat there in the top left corner screen, those are all sponsors that I personally work with, and I use their products. So, I've actually, the Quip, when they asked me if I wanted to take them on as a sponsor, they sent me a brush, like a month and a half, 2 months ago. I'm not blocking here, because I don't want to lose this to, like, a deal 2 damage spell or a Collision Colossus. This card's just ending the game if it gets to do its thing, so let's just let it do its thing. Also, and this is something new I'm doing with the sponsor, so my different sponsorship deals, sometimes they're flat rates, sometimes I get an incentive based on how many I sell. So the Quip is one where I get a referral bonus, basically, when people buy a Quip using my link. So if you pick up a Quip, the cheapest one is $25 for the electric brush. If you sign in using your Twitch account through my link, so I can know it's you and give you credit, I'm giving people 25 points to bump something in the deck queue when you buy the $25 toothbrush. So, if you were thinking about bumping something in my deck queue anyways, you were thinking about getting an electric toothbrush, check out the Quip and you can bump something in there too. All is part of the same thing. I think I'm binning the second one of these. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. And using my referral link, they're one of the services that they send you like extra things every X amount of months. I think it's every 3 months, and your first refill is included for free using my code. So I don't think I want to attack with this just yet, or this. I don't want it to get dogpiled. If I attack with this, I only have 3/2s back, and I don't want to trade both 3/2s for a 4/4 if they attack with this. So I'm just gonna hold off. Like, we've got 2 more Jadelight Rangers in our hands. Like, we should be well off from here. I just have their base plastic brush. Maybe I should have kept the other Incongruity on top of my deck, just in case they had double flying creatures. Like, if they have another flying creature at this point, I could be in trouble, potentially. But if they don't, we're gonna run them over. Every kit. Every kit. So if you want to get one of the nicer ones, one of like the metal one or one of the special color ones, it's a little bit more. You still get 25 points for the queue. Love it. And then this is such a great example of why I think this deck is good in the aggro matchups. So obviously the Explore package is good against aggro decks, but because we play 4 copies of Incubation in our deck, we find our Explore cards more consistently. And then once we gum the board up like this, a card like Climb or Hydra lets us literally go over the top of these stalled boards. So next turn, I'm going to shock in. Are they dead? They're not dead this turn. They're not dead this turn. I could 16 them this turn, but they're not dead yet. I think I just kill Vivien Reid this turn. I think I shock this in. I play this. I move to combat. I kick this up to a 5/4. And then I'm going to go ahead and have this lift off my 3/2. And have my 3/2 kill Vivien this turn.
Do this again.
This might be a little bit too defensive. I don't know, we're at 28, like I'm gaining another 6 next turn, so I feel like I'm kind of in a spot where I can just like be super defensive here. Triggers. Alright, let's try to run the next 2 off here, shall we? Fair warning, if we win 3 of the next 4 matches or just the next 2, I'm not playing Mono Blue. I'm putting it back to where it was in the queue. I only bumped Mono Blue up in case I had to try hard. If we win the next 2 or 3 of the next 4 to break into Mythic with this deck, I'm just going to play whatever was at the top of the queue previously. What was at the top? Teamer Dragons was actually at the top, which sounds incredibly sweet, but I don't know how competitive it is. What's going on, Colin? Good morning. Ooh. Guildgate. I think I just Incubation here. I think I Incubation against a Guildgate. Do I? They could have goats, right? Like, goat is kind of annoying. I definitely don't think I'm supposed to climb this turn. Am I supposed to climb? Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe I'm just supposed to do this. And like next turn I could go Growth Chamber, like start triggering Growth Chamber. It's also possible I could just, like, play just Growth Chamber this turn, but being mana efficient seems great. We're a powerful wizard, chat. We're a powerful wizard. I can trim one climb in this matchup. Maybe I don't want all the Viviens. Is this a matchup where I want to trim some of these? I go back and forth on how many Incubation Incongruities I want in this matchup. So, like, their 8/8s and their goats are, like, incredibly annoying. So, I think I'm supposed to leave all the Incubation Incongruities, even though I'm trimming down on creatures. That seems very reasonable. No, there's actually been a lot of mono blue lists that don't play Warcraft Marauder recently. I'd encourage you to, like, look up deck lists. Perfect. This hand needed a 2-drop, and then Incubation came in the clutch. Vivien does kill the 8/8, that's true. Temporarily alleviates our 8/8 problems. Hey, what's going on, DeBest? Thanks for the 2 months, I appreciate that. Welcome back. The Ixalan's Diviner is for the aggressive matchup, so you have a 9th Explore creature with which to trigger your Wildgrowth Walkers. This is gonna be a tough start. Getting through a Gatebreaker Ram is incredibly difficult. So again, remember, I feel like I have to say this a lot. When it comes to sideboarding's not about just putting in all your cards that are good. In Magic the Gathering, there's often going to be a lot of cards in your deck that can be classified as good. Sideboarding is about putting together your best cards out of the deck that you have in front of you. So, while I agree with the people that are suggesting other cards in our sideboard have a text box in this matchup, I do not think they are better than the cards that I currently have in my main deck. And I'm always open to suggestions if you want to, like, make an argument or generate a discussion about why you think a card I've left in my sideboard could be good, but I haven't seen anybody do that so far. I'm just going to go ahead and double block this here, because there's no other way I'm getting through this 5/5. Alright, so the goal here is gonna be... I had a negate to beat Growth Spiral, so we're fine. Hey, Mr. Hello, thank you for the 12 months of Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for shipping your Bezo bucks back this way again. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield, shall we? Go forth and defend us from Twitch chat. So, we countered one Guild Summit, and then we destroyed the other. So, like, alright, they have a third. Slowing down their card advantage is generally ideal. Them having a third is a little unfortunate.
No one knows the wilds like I do.
How do I swing for 5, Za? They literally have a 5/5 in play. The Ram has Vigilance. So, like, swinging, I can't really swing for 12 next turn because the Ram's gonna be there blocking. That's why the Ram's so good and why that trade was worthwhile, in my opinion. Oh, they're playing the Nexus build. Okay, might be in trouble. I think the Nexus build changes whether or not I want Incubation Incongruity. I guess I'm not sure. If they don't have an untapped land, we're probably going to get Gates Ablazed here. I'd assume. Like Wilderness Reclamation. Probably Dunzo. Maybe you're supposed to shoot this.
That would break someone like you.
No. I assume we're dead here. They were on the plane, had one of their better starts, so. That's awesome. That is incredibly sweet. That is incredibly sweet.
No one said restoration was painless.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is my last crab. I'd encourage you to read expansion. Alright, so Sunbird's Invocation means I'm gonna bring my last Vivien and some other stuff in here. Alright, well, we're not dead yet. They're still dead on board to this climb. Alright. This is all I got. I assume we're dead here because they have like 4 Sunbird's Invocations. Yeah, I can see it. Alright. Sweet build from the opponent. We're gonna get all of our anti-enchantments in here. I agree. Their deck is incredibly greedy. Did not know exactly what we're playing against. They conceded real early game 1. Alright, let's do it. Is Brontodon good enough? Yeah, Bronte's probably fine. It's maybe better than Incubation even. Yeah, I agree. Oh, magic. I don't know. I think this deck is fine. I think Teamer is also fine. People that want to know which is better, I don't know. It's just like infinite decks in this format that are all just like I would classify as fine. And these both fall under that. They have, like, untapped land goat here. We just, like, won't be able to be aggressive anymore. Untapped land. Gates of Blaze, like, also dumpsters us. Guild Summit. That's potentially beatable. Really just need to draw lands for the next 2 turns. Just not beating anything. Go. Don't have things. Just have a bunch of greedy Sunbird Invocations in your hands, please. So unfortunately we didn't draw the 3rd land last turn, because then we'd be able to pass holding up Spell Pierce and the pump to a 4/4 activation. Actually, we'd probably just make it a 4/4 right away, because it wasn't dying to Gates of Blaze. Hey, the original Eddie. Thanks for the 6 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Maltmeister with the brand new Prime support. Thanks for the Bezo bucks, folks. T Massey to check in as well. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch. You can send those to. Thanks for sending them here. High Score Hero. Thank you for the brand new Prime support. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, when you have 4 colors and, like, you're playing a bunch of ramp spells, like, sky's the limit as far as, like, Timmy cards are concerned, right? So the way the system changed around, it hasn't been tracking everybody accurately. So it should be good next month, I'd imagine. Tutors, thanks for the quarter of a year. Welcome back. Yeah, my experience, Wildgrowth Walker is enough to make the mono red matchup good for this deck. If you wanted to hedge mono red further, I would encourage you to play more copies of Ixalan's Explorer in the sideboard. J-Bot. Chicken in for 11 months in a row. Thank you and welcome. I mean, I don't think it's that necessary, but I think I have the sideboard slots, and I like being conservative. Hey, what's going on, Tron? Welcome back. Thanks for the 28 months. I always love the polarization in chat. Just like, on one side, there's someone being like, I need more ways to beat aggro. There's not enough. And then someone else is just like, do I really need the Ixalan's Diviner in the sideboard? It doesn't seem good enough. Just like the range on like what people think is necessary versus not. Any tips for modern red elementals? Yes, take your casual deck and throw it in the garbage and go build a modern deck. If you're trying to play competitive modern with casual decks, it's just going to lead to disappointment and sadness. Modern is a brutal, efficient format, and you need to treat it as such if you want to be even remotely competitive. I know that sounds really harsh, but that's just the truth of it. You're gonna like, it's like taking, I don't know, it's just, you're using the wrong tool for the job, is basically what it comes down to. Like, I get it. You want to do sweet things. Like, if you want to do sweet things, I'd encourage you to play Standard, where brewing is more accessible. We're probably dead here. I think we missed our second land for a little bit too long here, especially with the Sphinx just closing it out. That's true. If you want to kill someone with elementals, play what's it called? Play Dr. PZ. I think I want to try and leave the Spell Pierces in this time. I didn't leave those in last time, and I think that was a mistake. Trying to hammer in a nail with a screwdriver, yep. I'm gonna trim a climb, actually, rather than the last one of these. Gives me at 25 creatures, it's probably fine. How do you farm rare wild cards? The easiest way to farm anything in Magic Arena is with your credit card. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this. I agree, Transfixia. Get Faithful Suiting in your deck, get Ancient Stirrings in your deck. 5 have a way to kill people by turn 3. Kind of Admiral Osbot, but like it depends on what your definition of fun is too, right? Like if your FNM is even moderately competitive, showing up with what is effectively a casual deck and playing it into full powered modern decks probably isn't going to be fun for most people. Like tapping out to cast your unplayable elemental on turn 2 to have your Tron opponent untap and cast Karn against you, I don't think any reasonable human being is going to find that a fun experience. That's true. That's actually good advice. Mono red elementals, put Blood Moon in your deck, so that way you could hope, even though your deck's unplayable, that you'll occasionally steal a win because your opponent just can't play Magic. That's probably the most real advice related to the situation that we're currently talking about. Buy 4 blood boons so you can just like hope that they don't play magic some amount of the time. I mean, like, if they're happy losing, just let them do their thing. Just be like, you've chosen this life, enjoy it. If you don't brush your teeth, I'd encourage you to get a toothbrush of some kind, even if it's not a quip. I'd appreciate it if you check out the sponsor and get the quip, but I'd highly, highly encourage you to consider brushing your teeth. It's possible I should wait to play this for a turn to play around Spell Pierce. I think that was a mistake. I think I should play around Spell Pierce there. Like, starting next turn, like, Spell Pierce is just like a dead card indefinitely against me, so playing into it there is probably a little bit loose. I think I probably should just, like, played a Krasis for 2 or even just 2 2-drops. That's unfortunate. I think we're probably dead here. This gets countered. The game is over. Alright, we're gonna keep playing this deck until we lose 1 more. Gosh, we're back down to the Diamond 2. What a rubber band. What a rubber band. Up, down, life's like a jump rope. That's true, Kim. The longer Modern exists as a format, the more must-play cards each color or combination of colors is gonna learn to have. That's a fantastic card to have on top. What's going on, Melvin? Thanks for the $5 tip. I appreciate it. Ooh. Have $5 for making my day off of that. Ooh, I wonder if we're playing against the teamer build. That would be kind of funny. I always love how people who, like, know nothing about software tell me about debugging software. One of the things that makes software so complicated to run down issues is that there's infinite different configurations of hardware and software out there. So yeah, there's probably lots of people that don't have the 3-hour sound bug like I have. That's just how software works. That's why it's frustrating and difficult. F Weasel, thanks for the tier 2 resub. Put these towards Mardu Angels. Will do. I appreciate the support. Welcome back for the 8th month in a row. And Joyous Farm, thanks for the sub gifty. I appreciate that. Just generic coding statement. It's easy. What's going on, damn it, chill? I appreciate the 37 months. That's such a long time. Welcome back. Do I want this Merfolk Branchwalker? I think I do, actually. Maybe I don't. Maybe I want to bin that and dig for a way to kill their Wildgrowth Walker. Yeah, maybe that's the case. If they have, like, a Jadelight Ranger of their own here, we're going to be getting kind of a sticky situation, which means I should probably be digging for Climb. Honestly, the fact that they have Ravager Worm in their deck probably means that they're a favorite here. Yeah, definitely, Nam. You are one of the few with a map next to your name. They ditched the Climb here. Ditching the Climb probably implies they're light on lands. I'm going to attack with just Jadelight Ranger here. Because I have another Jadelight on top of my deck, I don't want them to trade block with everything on my Wildgrowth Walker if I can avoid it. So they're gonna get to Worm next turn. Thank you, F. Weasel. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Get those added to Mardu after I'm done today. Who I sub to on Twitch? Who I sub to on Twitch varies month to month. I've definitely talked about this before. My general rule of thumb for subscribing on Twitch is that if I watch someone on Twitch in a week more than I watch Netflix that week, I subscribe to them for the month. Because, like, that's my line. Dat Owl Access Pass biddies put them towards Esperator. I did see your, there was a random pun there. We'll definitely get those added, Evan. I don't actually watch that much TV either. We mostly have Netflix for the kids, so I occasionally watch stuff on there. I also just don't watch that many things in general recently, because I've just been working and streaming so much. Well, my walker's out of control until they find an incubation. Yeah, but they could have blocked with everything wax papers, and trading my Wildgrowth Walker for their Llanowar Elves plus 3/2 was a terrible exchange for me, and this board shows it, right? Like, why would I want to trade my Wildgrowth Walker that's going to single-handedly hold everything they have at bay? That's a terrible exchange in my opinion. Yeah, if they're playing something similar to the teamer list we played on stream earlier this week, they'll have Lava Coils in the sideboard and Ravager Worms in the main deck. Oh, you're talking about a different turn then? I don't remember then. You gotta be more specific. Take a break. We're probably talking about different turns. I do always try and make sure that I use my Prime sub every month, because that's just like free money for someone. If I'm going through a month where I like don't have a lot of like I'm not watching a lot of Twitch, I'll just like drop it to someone like Day9 or Caleb, other big content producers that I like. Monteroti, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Thanks for dropping your Bezo bucks in here this month. Welcome, welcome. That's terrifying. That means my walker's dying next turn. Hey, Rebel Gonzo. Chipping in with the Twitch Prime as well. Welcome, welcome. I think we're dead here. If I don't draw like another Krasis, we're probably gonna be dead. Or we could draw that and kill them this turn. God bless. Yay, lucky! Yay, lucky! I think, and like obviously I can't know because I don't know the contents of their hands, but my opponent had an Explorer earlier this game where they ditched a copy of Climb, and I think the fact that they ditched a copy of Climb was a mistake, because these games just tend to come down to board states like this one here, which makes Climb just incredibly important. So, I don't know exactly how stalled they were with how many worms they had in their hand, but I feel like ditching Climb in this matchup is generally wrong. Like, again, obviously I can't 100% know that, because I, like, don't know the full context of their hands, but my gut says I'd almost never want to ditch it. I didn't play Modern this morning, because when I play Magic on the weekends, I tend to just play for fun. And I really just don't enjoy playing Magic Online these days. Magic Online feels like work. So, I'm still doing Modern and Legacy on Magic Online because there's people that support that content and are interested in it. And I definitely want to, like, give people what they're looking for. But if I'm playing Magic for fun, it's definitely Arena and Standard. Yeah, is Canopy better than Vivien? I think Vivien's just better than Canopy. I think Biogenic Ooze is worse than Vivien Reid and Hydroid Krasis, and I don't think I have room for more top end, is basically what it comes down to. I need to cut 4 cards here. I'd probably rather have Incubation than Thrash threat. Exiling their large threats is pretty important. I don't think this is a Negate Spell Pierce matchup. Like, we have some high impact non-creature spells, but we don't have that many of them. And I think especially on the draw, I want to be a little bit more defensive. Let's try this. Definitely haven't played the mirror yet, so I don't know 100% what I want to be doing. It's definitely a little bit different than playing in something like black-green, like Sultai. Sultai and black-green I have a plan for. I boarded in Brontodon because it's a 3/4 for 3 that kills Climb. So, like, it's a card that, like, helps us stabilize the board, but it also can, like, interact with Climb, which is one of their more important cards in the matchup. Seems very reasonable. Turn one elf. Sounds great. These curves feel so good, because, like, especially with, like, Llanowar Elves, Incubation just, like, fits in so nicely on curve. And, like, we'll lead on Incubation before we play this, obviously, because we don't want to clear past our Explorer card. Also, if I find a Wildgrowth Walker, I want to do that. That's true, Brute. The fact that they're on Worm, it makes Negate a little bit worse. I agree with your assessment. I already have a Merfolk Branchwalker, so let's just grab this Krasis. How's the Quip toothpaste? That's what I've been using. I don't know that it's anything spectacular, for the sake of being honest. It's like adequate toothpaste. I don't have anything spectacular to say about the toothpaste. It's just fine compared to everything else I've ever used over the course of my life. The brush itself, though, is really great. It's a nice compact size, too, as someone who, like, travels on occasion. Like, generally, electric toothbrushes tend to be a little bit cumbersome, and this one definitely is not. I think I just snapped this straight here, especially with them having a Climb in play. Alright, so with double Krasis in hand, it's going to depend on what they do next turn, but next turn might just be like a baby Krasis 2/2. Looks like we're having some chat problems. Nope, I don't think so. So, because I drew this elf, I'm actually just going to go ahead and play this out, and then play this tapped, and then next turn play a large Krasis out. The place we ended with Black-White Vampires felt okay. The place we started wasn't fantastic, but we ended up doing, like, a double tribe, like, Vampire Knights thing, and it was fine. Yep. Can I explain why I pitched Brontodon earlier? Can you explain why I would want to keep Brontodon? So that's my answer is that I didn't feel like there was a reason to keep Brontodon. Is the quick lazy answer. We're dead. I think we're dead. Worm's really good in the mirror. I definitely think Teamer's good against this build of the deck. We're dead, right? Yeah. on the play, what do I want to do here? I think I want to be a little bit more aggressive on the play, and that includes having a bunch of Growth Chamber Guardians in my deck along with Climb, I think. So I'm going to trim the Diviner, the Bronze Dawn, and these Zeganas, and, like, be a little bit more aggressive. Especially with Sleep in my deck, I think. Yeah, the Worm's a very good card. Honestly, I think there might be a configuration where just, like, the Lava Coils weren't worth it in the sideboard of the deck, and, like, we just play, like, I've been pretty impressed with Thrash Threat as far as supplemental removal goes, so I might even try a Temur configuration where it's just, like, Worms in the main and, like, 8 red lands, and, like, no red spells in the sideboard. Just, like, have 2 to 3 Worms be the only red spells in the 75. All of the above, DJ. Newer house, bigger space, better school district for Jake when he starts kindergarten in the fall. Yeah, both my kids really like school, and honestly, as far as, like, grade school and grammar school goes, or whatever you want to call it, like, what I'd be doing with them at home is very similar to, like, what they'd be learning there. It really isn't until you, like, get into, like, high school and college where things really start to deviate. Deal. Dunk. See if they have a Jadelight of their own. Just a Branchwalker is good for us. It means this can attack it next turn. I agree. Wildgrowth Walker is great. Oh, they missed their third land, huh? That's probably lights out. I assume this is going to trade here and they'll take 4. How much of a difference do school districts make in the United States? There's tends to be some drastic quality difference between different areas. So the way we fund education in the United States is really messed up. Property taxes are the primary things that fund schools in the United States. So by moving to an area with slightly more expensive homes, the schools tend to be better funded. It's just like the stark reality of it, which is messed up. Yeah, there's some redistribution, so it's not there's a little, but for the most part, it's the more expensive houses tend to go to better schools. Correct. It's something that's very, very messed up. Which of my sponsors do the alerts? Both Harry's and Quip pop up an on-screen alert when you purchase through them, so long as you sign in with your Twitch account. Alright, well they're missing land drops. That's good for us. That bodes well for the Hope team, considering our hand is very bad and not getting better. Howdy, folks. Did Martin just sign off? What's our record with Climb today? We've lost 2 matches. I think we're 3-2 or 4-2, which I genuinely don't remember. The way this matchup tends to play out, especially game 1, if they do their thing, we generally get run over, but sometimes we can get under them. If they don't have a red land here, they're probably dead, but if they have a red source this turn, they could hit Gates Ablaze and then kill us. That's not a red source. That's good for us. So let's just pop this off. Go grab a friend. Yeah, Growth Chamber Guardian's a great spell to have when you're flooding. This card's incredibly powerful. And thanks for the... Did Martin host? I need to... I think I have my host alerts turned off. I should probably enable them. Woo! Thanks for the raid, Martin. I appreciate it. That's why I actually had host alerts turned on and not raid, so I need to reconfigure those. So that way they pop up. I appreciate that, Martin. Hope you had a good stream today. Notice that I took it off the site. It was never on my website. What's the difference between a host and a raid? So, they're very similar. So, a raid pushes people's web browsers to my URL. So, when you host someone, you stay on the person's channel that you're originally watching, and you have to click through to get to the person they're hosting channel, whereas a raid pushes everyone through. I generally don't raid people on my channel because, like, I have like Twitch chats that I always leave open on my stream, and if I raid, I have to refresh all my Twitch chats everywhere to, like, change them from whoever I raided back to mine. Alright, so now, because they have Plaza of Harmony in play, they can actually play a red gate next turn and Gates Ablaze me, which is unfortunate. Unfortunately, I don't really have a better line other than just, like, attack, right? Yeah, I think that's a bug on Twitch's end, Sharp. How do I have lethal? Please be constructive and specific. This is not a removal spell, chat. This leaves a 3/3 behind. This leaves them a 3/3 with which to block. This doesn't just kill their thing. It exiles the creature and leaves them a new blocker. Do I want to pop this off, or do I want to Krasis for 4? I think I just want to Krasis for 4. I guess I put them down to 2 if I pop this off, though. This is my favorite deck in Standard. These Simic Climb decks are a lot of fun. They're both fun, and I think they're pretty powerful, too. Like, creatures backed up by counterspells are just, like, a reasonable place to be. I think I just pass here. There's really no reason to commit more to the board. If they have red Gates Ablaze, we'll need to rebuild after. Yep. I don't know, Sags. They're very close to being the same deck. The Teamer Climb deck is basically this deck with a splash. So Growth Chamber. I have one more Squadron Crab in my deck, right? I can Krasis for 5, but that still dies to Gates Ablaze. I can't Krasis for 6. That's not a legal play. I think I play this, play Climb, go get another Growth Chamber Guardian, and then play it out. Hey, Edna, thank you very much for the very generous tier 3 resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a good one. Remember to let me know what deck you'd like to bump up or submit a new deck through the formal website. Leebs, thank you for a 2-month resub on the Twitch Prime. Thanks for shipping your Bezo bucks back this way. I appreciate it. So if they have another Gates Ablaze or an Angel here, we could be in trouble. Honestly, the fact that they could have an Angel is a reason to maybe play a Giant Krasis this turn. I don't know what this deck's bad matchups are. I feel like if I get to play Magic, I have a chance against everything. Perfect, Add Up. Sounds great. Oh, we're getting comboed. Okay. Probably dead here. Honestly, I'm surprised we got as close as we did, considering how bad our draw was this game. Had a lot of bumbling and fumbling around in the early turns. Board in a pile of negates and try again. I'd encourage people when they tell me why they think a line was bad, don't assume cards that are in my opponent's deck unless you're like literally watching over my opponent's shoulder. There's a ton of variation in almost every archetype in this format, and making narrow plays based around them having cards that like you don't know for sure are there or not is some nonsense. I think it's good to play the second crab out here, because in the event that my opponent has a piece of spot removal, I can still kill them next turn. Thanks, Bad Soda. We'll see. If we lose another match with this, we'll switch to mono blue and see if we can get in with that. And if not, it's like not that big of a deal. Are they? No, they have a neck. They're just gonna like play a Nexus and kill us. I'm gonna concede to a Nexus of Fate here. It's good enough. Good enough for me. Alright, so how are we approaching this matchup? We're gonna trim some of our top end. Wildgrowth Walker is pretty slow. Incubation and Incongruity is a little bit medium. I want all of these negates. I want the Bronzodon and these Crushing Canopies. I think I want one more Vivien. I don't think I want all 3 Vivien just because she's a little bit slow. Their enchantments are obviously really important, but 5 mana cards killing their enchantments is like pretty slow and cumbersome on average, especially when I have like some cheaper ways to do that as well, in addition to my counter magic. 21 creatures. Is 3 climbs too many? 3 climbs might be too many if I don't have enough creatures. Well, a climb generates some of my more aggressive starts, so it's probably fine to leave them all in. Trim an Incubation and leave a Zegana in. It's like trying to keep my creature count high. I think Incongruity is fine in this matchup, but I don't think it's better than the cards that are currently in my deck. Yeah, that's how Twitch works, Yeraldin. That's why I said I'd be very surprised if we hit the 4,400 threshold. The subscriber count on Twitch is very volatile. Sometimes it goes way up, other times it goes way down. Basically rubber bands all around. What's going on, Viper Band? So sub points, basically subs fall off every 30 days, and a lot of times people don't. There's a good chunk of people that do renew, that's why you see those wonderful sub streaks, but there's a lot of people that just subscribe for random 1 month here and there. Hey, Chase Moan, thank you for the Prime support. Welcome. Hope you're having a good Sunday wherever you're at. I appreciate that. Does 2 quip 1 year prepaid purchases get us playing this deck with 8 red Duels of the Worm decks? It does not. You can link your Prime using this link right here. Twitch.amazon.com/Prime. We could just be a little bit too slow to race their combo draw with this hand for sure. This hand did not have disruption in it, which is definitely a small liability. They can also like, well, I guess if they had a red gate next turn, they actually don't combo us. So I'm just gonna go ahead here with Growth Spiral. They could gate some place us now. So if they go +2 gates and have a red source, they can gate some place us. Well, that's not a gate. We could just get Nexus of Fate and combo out of the game next turn though. I kept a medium-ish hand just hoping to race, and if they have one of their faster swords, we're not going to be able to do that, unfortunately. So next turn, I can climb, flip, climb. So I go land, climb, flip, climb. So this would be 5, 10, 14, 15. I can attack for 15 next turn, which is unfortunate. Really hoping to draw a counterspell. Specifically negate. Spell Pierce probably isn't good enough. If we hit a negate to stop them from nexusing us next turn, we probably have a shot. Oh, we're getting nexus this turn. Okay. I assumed they were drawing with Guild Summit, but it looks like they just have nexus already. Worth noting they didn't have land drop this turn, so there's a chance they don't have a land drop next turn. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the Nexus of Gates deck gets better than Bant Fog. All the Bant Fog builds we've played have felt really bad, so getting better than that doesn't seem particularly difficult. I mean, they didn't have a land last turn. They drew a land this turn, so they need a card advantage engine to get going. And if they're not making land drops, they don't currently have one. I mean, like, Nexus is like KCI, right? Like, people hated KCI too. I mean, if anything, I think there's a chance that Nexus gets banned just based purely on the fact that they banned KCI in Modern. Like, KCI definitely didn't really deserve to be banned on power level based on a lot of the public data that we had. There was like one Grand Prix where it had a good run. I think KCI got banned more on quality of gameplay than anything else. Alright, this is all I've got. Put you to 2, hope I get another turn. Yeah, I gotta imagine, like, SCG themselves is hoping Nexus gets banned because, like, their standard coverage has to be terrible as long as Nexus is legal. Oh, you know what? Using the Wing Tempo last turn was wrong because now my board dies to Gates Ablaze. Yeah, that was a mistake. They hit the red source, they could Gates Ablaze be here and clear my board, and they wouldn't have been able to clear my board with Gates Ablaze if I had held the Wing Tempo activation up. They just didn't have red mana, so it wasn't on my radars, but it's definitely something I should have been thinking about. There is so much good enchantment removal in the format. I mean, the good players had a 65% win rate with it, but, like, we don't know what the total win rate was because we don't have complete data. Yeah, some planeswalkers are better than others. It's kind of silly to me to, like, point out that some planeswalkers are better than others. It's like pointing out that some creatures are better than others, right? Like, Llanowar Elves is better than most other 1-mana green creatures, right? But we don't write a book about it. So, I'd have won this game, most likely, if I would have held up my Wing Temple activation. It's, like, something worth noting. Hey, Johnny Stephanie, thanks for the 6 months. I appreciate that. Thanks for the half a year. Welcome back. And, like, now I can't play this and protect it, so... Yep. So I would just like to be on record for people that are, like, trying to make arguments that, like, Nexus is beatable. I agree with you. If you listen to the statement that I made, maybe you're not familiar with, Skip Dash, thanks for 15 months. You might not be familiar with KCI in Modern, but I said I could see Nexus of Fate getting banned in Standard for the same reason they banned KCI in Modern. If you're not familiar with that reasoning, they banned the card KCI in Modern because it creates miserable games of Magic that people have to sit through. They didn't ban it based on power level. They banned it based on nobody wants to sit here and watch this happen. Yeah, it's bad for coverage. It's bad for people that want to sit down and play a quick game of Magic. It's just like there's a lot of things that make it bad in general. Well, their draw's also been medium this game, so we've got that going for us. So maybe the fact that I made a huge mistake won't come back and bite us. If they don't have a Fog or a Sweeper or combo this turn, we're gonna get going, which is nice. Uh-oh, they're floating mana. I assume that means we're dead. Hey, Viper Man, thanks for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. The background music of Arena always reminds me of The Witcher. Yeah, I mean, like, a lot of people say it reminds them of Skyrim, and those, like, kind of just, like, generic high fantasy games, like, have similar backtracks, right? And thanks for the 8 months, Dorox. I appreciate it. What is the best Nexus deck? I have no idea. People think this Gates build is really good, so, like, maybe it is. I haven't played this Gates build. I know none of the Nexus decks I've played personally feel that busted, but maybe this Gates build is just, like, the bee's knees. So, you can set objective measures, and nobody's saying ban Nexus because it's unfun, Tuffy goes. They're saying ban Nexus because it takes too long, mechanically, for the combo to play out. Which, that's a more objective metric, right? Like, that's not a slippery slope argument. That's this thing takes too long to play out, so why are we doing it? So, this is really interesting. If I just let this resolve... and they have another one, they kill my entire board. However, I think I'm going to try and save this. If they have another Sweeper, I'm going to be really sad. Like, if they have, like, another Deafening Clarion. Whereas, if they have another Deafening Clarion, I could have protected my board from it. I could have protected my 1/4/4 from it by using the Wing Temple. Negate! Negate! Breeding Pool. That's a lot. Breeding Pool is a lot like Negate. Beyond Sadistic with the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. I'm not going to play this out, I don't think. Playing this out is like good against Angel, but worse against Gates to Blaze. You just draw one more brick. I think my thing still dies here. I usually just concede a match versus Nexus and close Arena if I'm paired with a Quasar. I agree. That's why the card could possibly be banned. I can't really complain too much because we're kind of incredibly fortunate to be at the position we're in this game. Like, my opponent's drawn a lot of bricks. I think the play design team worked on the set that Nexus was in. I thought play design team had touched all of the cards in this format. My freebie, right? I just hit Diamond 1. Maybe I should have conceded when we saw it was Nexus, just because it was my freebie. Yeah, so when you cross into a new threshold like this and like hit into Diamond 1, you get a free loss. Didn't use my time efficiently. Should have just conceded when we saw it was Nexus and we were at a rank floor. That's Feardur. Like, I could definitely see that. It's a last minute change to try and sell boxes of Magic cards. Like I said, based on my experience so far with the card Nexus of Fate, I think if they ban it, it's not on power level reasons. It's probably based on just, like, quality of gameplay reasons. But we've definitely seen there's precedent for Wizards of the Coast banning based on quality of gameplay in the past. So, because they're playing Jeskai control, I think I'm actually supposed to activate this rather than play Hadana's Climb this turn, because if they're on Jeskai control, Deafening Clarion would kill my crab next turn, and I'd prefer my crab not die next turn. Foils are considered marked because you can cut to them if you know what you're doing. So they're literally marked. Warping the warping and foils is real bad. You know what? This is a mistake. This is actually a pretty big mistake. So I should have shocked this in. I've missed a point of damage, which is a big deal because they'd be at 8 instead of 9, which is a multiple of 4. And I'd much rather they be at a multiple of 4 here. Like, multiple of 4 is the difference between 2 attacks and 3 attacks here. It's also the difference between dead through a blocker and not dead through a blocker. So if I shock in last turn, they're actually dead on this attack. Yeah, that or this Klutz. I think they're both really good. So like I'd have won this game if I'd have not shocked that land in last turn. I guess they'd have been forced to take different lines if I'd have not shocked the land in, but likely would have won. I think at this point I don't play this out. Just because the sweeper is what they're looking for. Little things like that often add up and catch you. Right, didn't get punished because there's no justice in the world. Thank goodness there's no justice in the world. I think this is about right. I mentioned I like to cut the incongruities in matches where I board down on creatures, but I think Jeskai Control is actually a matchup where that's not true, because I expect my opponent to have things like Niv Mizzet post-board, so having maximum amount of ways to exile Niv Mizzet tends to be pretty important, because that card runs away with the game very quickly if left unchecked. I don't think I want Crushing Canopy. I think I'd rather have this than Crushing Canopy, because this can potentially turn into a creature when I don't need the removal spell. This hand's very good. Turn 1 Elf, turn 2 Jadelight, and then like hold up Negate for the rest of the game from there. Yep. Hey, Calhones, thank you very much for the 13 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Sure, Canopy does hit as Canton Binding. So does Vivien Reid, though. Like, and we don't know exactly how many enchantments they're necessarily playing. And often, this isn't a matchup that goes down to, like, nitty-gritty card advantage. So a lot of the time, you just, like, ignore as Canton more than anything. You're trying to, like, tax them on mana efficiency more than, like, go toe-to-toe with their card advantage. Like, some games we can bury them in cards with Vivien and Hydroid Krasis, but I think those games are the exception more so than the rule. The card advantage in this deck tends to mostly be, like, outgrind opposing mid-range decks. I completely disagree with that, Comrade EV. There are a number of games where even the games where you sit there and play for like 10 minutes on Arena playing against Texas are like miserable enough to like warrant it. And like under like a paper MTGO style timer, you would still sit there for 10 minutes against Texas. Makes it an incredibly unpleasant user experience. So I feel like the way they paused there, they have a removal spell and they're just like trying to get me to use my mana before they use the removal spell. So I'm just gonna go ahead and attack for 2 here rather than trying to invest my mana into this. And then I'm gonna go ahead and play Jadelight Ranger out. And then like if they have a sweeper next turn, it's like not that big of a deal because I'll be able to untap and like play Branchwalker plus hold up Negate. But like if I get to untap with both these creatures again, we're just gonna be like holding up this Negate for most of the rest of the game. Hey Rockin', thanks for the 23 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. And thanks for boosting Climb Up the other day. That was, the run with Teamer was good. Do you have a Deafening? If they have Deafening Clarion here, I'm kind of sad with my sequencing, but if they don't have Deafening Clarion, I feel like we're in a pretty good spot. Go ahead and pass here. I think I would just want to hold up Negate / the Growth Chamber Guardian activation. And they like play into a counterspell here. I just get to like, and this is one of the reasons why Growth Chamber Guardian plays well with the counterspells out of our sideboard. It's like not 100% obvious that I like have a counterspell here, right? Like I could just be holding up my Growth Chamber Guardian activation. I am just going to let this resolve. I have Vivien to shoot it. My sequencing here, if I want to play the Vivien and downtick on the Excellence Binding, gets a little bit punished if they have Spell Pierce or Niv Mizzet. But other than that, I think this is reasonable.
I didn't live through hell. Draw and fire.
It's actually a podcast. To a degree. You know, it's funny. I have a lot of people comment that, like, one of the reasons why they subscribe to me and, like, tune into my stuff other than some other Magic viewers is because I talk about the board state enough that they can generally follow the match that I'm playing by just listening, which is very similar to a podcast, right? Word in. All right, let's go ahead and plus this.
The wilds are my shield.
The wilds are my shield. I'm gonna go ahead and attack with this. If they want to trade here, that's fine with me. If they don't want to trade here, I'm just gonna go ahead and let this happen. And then I'm gonna go ahead and Incongruity their 4/4 here, and then put this land into play tap so I can hold the gate up. You know what? I actually should probably shock that in, so that if they don't give me something to negate, I can activate this. Activate the Growth Chamber Guardian. Stop it. So if they attack with the Beast into the Vivien, we'll go ahead and trade off here. Staying defensive with it doesn't really surprise me, though.
Balance.
Go ahead and plus this up. Grab. Huh. I guess I grab Carnage Tyrant here. You're like, you know you're in a good spot against the control deck when you're like, is this Carnage Tyrant really better than drawing a land this turn? I'm not 100% sure. Big dumb dino. Bum 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 bum. Yeah, and that's a good point too, Tufko. So like, it's actually an additive incentive for me to like play Jadelight this turn while they're tapped out, because Carnage Tyrant's much better when they have a counterspell up, because then you invalidate their mana for the turn by playing this threat that they can't counterspell. They still don't have Niv mana, and honestly, even if they hit Niv mana at this point, we have Vivien on 4, so like Vivien checks Niv at this point. There was a small window there where like we killed the Excellence Binding where Viv was only on 2, where she wouldn't have been able to do that anymore, but hey, what's going on, Endel? Thanks for the brand new Prime support, welcome. Sophie is a pup with the 14-month resub. Lucky to catch you live, still loving the YouTube. Well, thank you, I appreciate you supporting my content here. Redbeard, checking in with the brand new Prime support. Do I want to activate Growth Chamber Guardian and shuffle this Krasis? I think I do, actually. It feels weird, but I think I do. I guess I can decline, actually. Yeah, I'm actually going to make it a 4/4 and decline the search so I can draw the Krasis. I think that's actually the line.
You can't stop nature.
I think I'm in for the land at this point. Let's attack for lethal here. We can Spell Pierce to settle the wreckage, which is great. Yep. Alright. Have to have land plus Cleansing Nova. Have I mentioned how good Spell Pierce is in the format right now? I feel like it's been at least a match since we mentioned how good Spell Pierce is. Gosh, that card is great. Alright. Can we run off? Can we run off 2 more here? See if we can run off 2 more here. See how it goes. Wonder if I want a couple copies of Frilled Mystic in my sideboard. I feel like I might. The last couple times we played against Gates and Nexus, I felt like I want a couple more counter spells. It is a little awkward, but there's enough games where you just, like, need to see a counterspell. And, like, having a counterspell that Incubation can find and Vivien can find is, like, really good. I think I want to cut either the last Vivien... I mean, the Carnage Tyrant might just not be necessary. I think I'm going to cut the Carnage Tyrant for now. I think we're, like, pretty good in the matchups where Carnage Tyrant is good. Yeah, I guess all the Viviens. I have like Crushing Canopy too. Yeah, let's cut the third. Let's try a bunch of Frilled Mystic so we can get a chance to draw it and see how that feels. The Thrash threats are extra removal spells, so they're for the aggressive matchups for the most part. Expert, you need to kill things. So Sleep is similar to Climb, but they function a little bit differently and break through different board states. I think the Sleeps are worth having in the sideboard for the Sultai matchup. It's pretty reasonable. The Excellence Diviner is another card for the aggressive matchups. It's an extra card that helps enable your explore creatures. Yep. Main deck Vivien, why use so much mana against mono red? Sweet. We found the matchup where the Thrashes and the Excellence Diviners are for, so let's see how it goes. I'm gonna go ahead and play Forest and Incubation on one here, because I would like to try and find a Wildgrowth Walker. Woof. I think that's actually the first time I've missed on an Incubation. I'm trying to think. I think that's actually the first time we've played. I've missed on an Incubation, which is like, it's like pretty rare with like, I think we're at 27 creatures in the main. Something like that. 26 or 27? 26. Hey! Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Incubation got us there after all. You're not wrong. Alright, he's dead, Jim. I wonder if I'm supposed to lead on Growth Chamber Guardian to like bait the removal spell there. If I lead on this, they probably kill it anyways. I think I'm just supposed to trade here, just be as defensive as possible. I think I'm doing this plus a tap plant here, rather than like shocking in the breeding pool, playing Wildgrowth Walker, getting it lightning struck in response to my Branchwalker trigger. Like, if they burn a removal spell on this, that's a win for me, right? Because it's a removal spell that's not going towards my Wildgrowth Walker. And, like, I'm at 13. They're down to 3 cards in hand. So, I think I'm just supposed to, like, pump the brakes and be a little bit conservative here. Sure. Nice. Love me a mono red deck that draws 3 lands. And again, like, this is a winning line for me, right? This is a winning line for me. I mean, I was representing Spell Pierce last turn. For people that are trying to, like, insinuate my opponent made a bad play, I was representing Spell Pierce. So, like, playing the land so that their light up the stage doesn't get Spell Pierce seems more than reasonable. Hey, Alex, thanks for the 16 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. No blocks. I guess I should have attacked with that, huh? Because I was playing this outpost combat. Yeah, I should have attacked my 5/4 there. I don't think it really matters. I think we're gonna be good. We have them dead in 2 with the Wing Temple. I like that attack there before they concede. That attack is like seeing how I block if I like play around like a removal spell, which I think is like super reasonable information to take with them on the way out the door. And Alex, let's get you a sword to go with your shield. Thanks for the support. All right, so this is the Diviner matchup. This is the Thrash threat matchup. This is also a... I like bringing a couple of negates in this matchup as well. This is a climb out matchup. This card, while like the climb helped us close the game out there, a lot of the time we need to be more defensive in this matchup, and I don't think climb is very good at doing that. Whereas like Zegana and Hydroid Krasis and stuff like let us go over the top still. Wildgrowth Walker like also kind of goes big up over the top of what they're doing. I like trimming 1 Krasis. It's kind of clunky, right? Kind of clunky. I'm gonna trim 1 Krasis. I think I like 4 counter spells in this matchup. Seems reasonable. And like, I have Incubation to like dig for Krasis, but it is good. Alright, round the draw this game, so this is the hard one. Thankfully, if we lose, we get to be on the play for the next. This is a mulligan. This opening hand's a good reason to show, why cutting the 4th Krasis is probably good. I'm gonna keep this. Yikes. Alright, so, yeah. It's a little scary. How do we remove their second threat with Thrash threat without a creature? So, like, well, I know I said Thrash is, like, a removal spell. You need creatures to pair with it in order for it to be a removal spell. Runaway Steamkin are definitely their best starts against us. Having access to lava coils with the red splash definitely makes this matchup a bit better. Although at the same time, our mana base does more to us, so I guess it's kind of a trade. It's stupid Krasis. Alright, Wildgrowth Walker, please. One Wildgrowth Walker, please. At least their light up the stages are consistently poop. I think I'm actually just supposed to cantrip this. It's like Walker Texas Ranger is like how we possibly get back in this game. It's just like give myself the most chances to find him. That's a good card to know about, I guess. Walker. Oh, so you're saying there's a chance, chat. So you're saying there's a chance. Take a chance on me. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Gosh, do I want that one? I don't think I do. I think I just want, like, Jadelight Ranger at this point. Walker still's a little bit too far off of being able to kill the Steamkin. And, like, if they have a removal spell, they kill the Walker anyways. Like, a light up the stage here. Sure. Shock plus Banefire. So they could Shock plus Banefire my Wildgrowth Walker. Or they could Fanatical Firebrand plus Banefire my Wildgrowth Walker. Oh, they could remove Steamkin counters. That's dead, right? Steamkin counters is lethal. They shock us. Yeah, Steamkin counters is lethal. I wasn't counting the Steamkin counters. We almost, wait. Oh yeah, plus the Firebrand. Plus the Firebrand, that does it. Yeah, pressing Z undoes adding mana to your mana pool. Gosh, we were so close. So close to stabilizing. That's fine. We get to play the next game on the play. Get to take the next game on the play. Yep. Hey, Chef Seth, thanks for checking out Equip. I appreciate that. Drop me a message in private. Let me know which deck you'd like to bump up in the queue. Appreciate you checking out the sponsor. They're good stuff. I think I keep this. This is like probably a 2-drop. Alright, so this is dying to a shock probably. Stay there. These 3 Krasis are like, look, coach, I know you didn't expect a lot from me, but put me in. Put me in, coach, I can do it. Hey, R, good luck on the rest of your games today. I appreciate it. Thanks for the biddies. Yeah, I'd love to comment on what happened on round 9 of yesterday's SG. This is really important. It's something that I think is very important if you're going to be watching competitive paper Magic. Cheating in Magic the Gathering implies intent. The definition of cheating in Magic the Gathering as far as competitive paper Magic is concerned, you have to be knowingly breaking the rules of the game and gain an advantage from it. Magic's a really complicated game. People miss things all the time. People make mistakes. A mistake that happens on camera isn't necessarily cheating. And saying that it is acting like you know what the person playing was intending to do when they made that mistake, which generally speaking just isn't the case. You generally don't know the intent behind what was done on camera. So I'd heavily discourage anyone from seeing anything that happens on camera in any tournament as describing it as cheating, because generally it's not. Mistakes happen. I don't know. Wow, they had 2 lanes in a row. Alright, deal. So part of me wonders if I'm supposed to play a teamer build of this deck with a little bit less red lands and just play Thrash threat in the teamer build instead of Lava Coil, because like being able to cast the being able to cast the threat half in a situation like this would be really good. No Luck Kid, thank you for the 4 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Like if these were 2 4-mana 4/4s, that would be real good in this board state. Hey, Bold Slow Bro, thank you for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people. You can ship those Bezo bucks to every single month here on Twitch. Thanks for shipping them my way this month. Explore creature, Jadelight. Yeah! Woo, buddy. Alright, lucky, lucky, lucky. Lots of practice, chat. Lots of practice. Skelly Bones with the brand new Prime support. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Hope you're having a good weekend wherever you're at. Thanks for shipping your Bezo bucks this way this month. Wow, woof. Well, that's one of their better cards to have on top. They're about to clean my board out here. And the sad part is, wow, that's really unfortunate. We've already played 2 copies of Krasis. There's only 1 more in my deck, which sucks. So is there a card on top of your deck? We did it! We are so lucky! We're so lucky! Listen, chat, it's not a well-tested frenzy, it's experimental. Sometimes it still doesn't work. Alright. Alrighty. We were 1 match away with Teamer. Let's see if we can pop through with this. And end boss, chat. End boss. Oh no. Alright, whew, playable. So, it's actually funny that there's a Merfolk Branchwalker on top of my deck. So, originally, I was going to Incubation looking for a 2-drop. But since we scryed a 2 to the top, we're just going to say, alright, that's fine. Yeah, it could be Drake's. I think statistically Drake's. There's some. Jeskai controls a possibility too, but statistically Drake's is likely. I think I'm just gonna do this. Like, it kind of sucks if they have a Drake, but if they have a Drake, it's going to suck for us regardless. This could find, like, a Llanowar Elves or a Wildgrowth Walker. Yeah, like, Walker's pretty good here. Get to grab Texas Ranger. We can dodge Lightning Strike this turn. We can dodge a ball. Technically not Lightning Strike, I suppose. It's unfortunate that we're missing land drop, because it means this Hydroid Krasis can't get played out anytime soon. Ideally, we want to get this thing out on 4 so we can trade with these drakes. Zegana is a good pickup. She lets us be aggressive. So, there's potential we could race this game. They have another drake next turn. They're hitting us down to 14, and then they have 6 power in play. But more importantly, if they get another drake in play, they're gonna be stopping our aggression from happening next turn, which sucks. So like if this puts us at 13 and they play another drake, we're probably dead. No second drake there is excellent for us. Llanowar Elf. Second Krasis is not like the end of the world here. If I draw an untapped land next turn, this becomes an 8/8, which is like kinda great. 8/8s are great, chat. Yikes. Alright, so we're taking 6. So really want to draw untapped land that's not breeding pool so we can Krasis for 4. I don't know about the nut hand. Like a second Drake would have been worse for us than like all the spot removal that they had. He says as his opponent plays a second Drake. We're on the no blocks here. Leaves me dead to shock, but I think that's okay. I'm like not beating a shock this game regardless. Yeah. Okay. Alright. So if we can hit like Jadelight Ranger next turn, or even just another Merfolk Branchwalker, we might be able to be okay. Another Hydroid Krasis is like also reasonable for us. Maybe I was supposed to, like, keep the Incubation Incongruities. We're dead, right? Yeah. That's pretty close. I think Thrash Threat is good. I think Spell Pierce probably isn't. I haven't really played this matchup. What do I wanna cut here? I'm at 26 creatures. I wonder if Incubation Incongruity is just like worse than my other removal spells by a wide margin. I think I'd believe that. This is definitely not a Frilled Mystic matchup. This is a matchup that's about playing to the board for sure and racing, and Frilled Mystic doesn't help us do that. Frilled Mystic's a very reactive card that's reflexive. I'm gonna cut 2 of these. So Zegana is like a little bit slow, but at the same time, like she's a 4/4 that gets to attack into their drakes, which I think is pretty important. Maybe it's less so post-board and she's expensive. Let's try and cut Zegana. I mean, kinda. So, like, one of the things that you need to think about is that, like, our entire deck is full of things that, like, get lava coils, right? So, like, saying this card's bad against lava coils, so you should cut it, is like saying we should cut off all the creatures in our deck, right? Like, listen, if you only have one card in your deck that turns on the removal spell, then cutting it isn't unreasonable. But when, like, your entire deck is things that turn on the removal spells, cutting it doesn't make a ton of sense. We're not blanking the removal spell by cutting Zegana, right? some spells. Yeah, I agree, Andrew. The fact that Zegana replaces herself is a big deal. So if you ever have her in a position where you're not racing and she dies, it's like not that big of a deal because she drew a card. Really? Okay. You have a Spell Pierce too? Woof. Yeah, these are gonna have a 5/5 next turn. Probably dead. Yep, just not good enough. Needed to draw like a Vivien there, or other copy of Crushing Canopy, or a spell. You know, a spell with text box. Thrash threat, not really having text at the moment. Saying there's a chance. That's all I really need, chat. All I need is a chance. Take a chance on me. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Oh, magic. If they have nothing, we could be okay. Alright. So you're saying there's a chance. I really just want to draw Krasis at this point. Really just want to draw Krasis at this point. And you're another Drake? Nope. Alright. They are also running on low here. One wet thaw. So the interaction there is I went to adapt and they shocked, and I went to adapt again in response. They have a beacon bolt, yikes. So the second adapt doesn't give it 1/1 counters, but it does save it from dying. Which is the goal. So dead to a few things at the moment. Could be a little bit conservative here and like play Branchwalker instead of the second one of these, but I think it's right to just get 2 4/4s out. I'm dead to Lava Coil. If they have Lava Coil, plus they scry to the top. So I assume I'm dead here. I would not be dead to Lava Coil. Enigma Drake. Okay, sure. Krasis. It's funny. Trying to hit Mythic these last 2 days has reminded me why I stopped traveling to play in Magic tournaments. It just became a full-time meme to play Magic for fun. Magic's a lot less fun when you care about winning even a little bit. It's a lot less fun when you care about winning even a little bit. Not good enough. This hand is also not great, but it's probably a keep at 6. You can always see decks that are being played upcoming on stream in the deck queue on my website. Always stay pretty organized around here, let you know what to expect. Correct, Sheltron. The people that are going to, the people that top 8 the ladder are going to experience the full range of human emotions. They are probably going to be very frustrated individuals for a very long time. I don't really have a preference. They both seem fine. Yeah, just DM me on Discord or here on Twitch, whichever's easier for you, Seth. Hey, Chef Boss, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine here. We dumpstered Esper the last 2 times we played them this morning, so hopefully we do that one more time. This is the part where they untap and Kaya's Wrath me. Even if they do that, though, I just have, like, 2 follow-up threats. So, like, they need, like, running Wraths here. First time subbing to N1. Please come back to Twitter. It's boring without you. I appreciate the positive note. Yeah, I agree. I agree that if they had Wrath, I don't think they would have mortified there. Just gonna go ahead and put them to 2. Morning, Ian. These people are great. Buy their stuff. Quip's a new one. New sponsor, Quip. Special promotion for them. If you check out the Quip thing and you click through using your Twitch account and purchase one of their brushes, you get to bump something in the deck queue. So be sure to do that if you're in the market for a toothbrush. These people also great. Buy their stuff. Is my arena not reloading? Why is my arena not reloading? It would follow that, like, the one time I'm, like, trying to restart in between. The one time I'm trying to restart with, like, time to sideboard, it would hang for a second. All right, there we go. We do have a new Hoaglandia banner. Yeah, I added a couple more of the regulars up there, so we got 2 of them, and they're scrolling in parts. All right, un moment. I gotta sideboard quickly. I'm gonna keep this on the draw. Like a good selection of spells here. Yeah, I took yesterday off. You can always tell when they've been hurt by spell pierce. If they've been hurt by spell pierce, they board in. They board into rest for game 2. Did it not auto-update? Those were good running draws. Yeah, it's titled Raise Elves Animated Mellow. It's the second video down. Alright, hoping to not get Kaya's Wrath, and even if we do get Wrath, I've got Growth Chamber Guardian plus Negate as a follow-up. Bye, friends. Yeah, it's 25 points regardless of which one you buy. I'm just gonna gamble on no removal spell here, and we're gonna lose. Maybe I'm not supposed to do this, just means I don't have Negate up. If they like rip a blue source and play Teferi, I'm gonna be pretty sad. The Legacy and Modern queue works similar to the Standard queue in that the deck with the most points gets played each day that I stream, with the caveat that I'm only doing one Legacy or Modern deck each day. So, Monday through Friday, one Legacy or Modern deck gets played at the start of the stream. My opponent missequenced their Mortify there, probably because their stop wasn't set properly. Trying to venture a guess. Magic Arena doesn't automatically put a stop on your main phase when you play a card like that. I think that's something they should change. They should automatically stop on the main phase if your opponent plays a Climb or a... what's the Goblin that makes a 1/1? War Boss, yeah, that's it. If you play a War Boss or a Climb, I think Arena should really automatically stop on the main phase for you. Makes your removal really awkward otherwise. Yeah, not Rebel Master. We have more viewers at the Magic Festival. That's not a big accomplishment anymore. Yeah, that's generically anything that has a trigger at the start of combat should just have a stop on the main phase. Just an embarrassment of Negates. Play four Negates, chat. Play 4 Negates. Alright, I'm gonna run to the restroom and I'm gonna stand up for this next one. And if we lose this next one, I'm gonna change to mono blue. So I'll be right back. Alright. Third time's the charm, right? Third time, one match went away from Mythic. Climbing to Mythic. Well, the joke with the Magic Fest is the Magic Fest doesn't have coverage, right? There's no Magic Fest coverage this weekend. For people who missed the joke. You cannot D-rank out of Mythic. Yeah, there's a modern Magic Fest this weekend, modern Grand Prix, whatever you want to call it. Has like 1,300 people at it. Oh, I am a god. I am a god. All right. All right. Oh, this is, we played this person earlier. They're playing Teamer Climb. Drawing lands is so easy. Easy game, easy life. Rats, rats. Gosh, we're so unlucky. We didn't draw a land this turn. How incredibly unlucky, chat. Look at that, trample over. That point of trample damage right there, I'd miss that in paper 9 times out of 10. Just like one of those things where like Magic Arena has reminded me that it has trample because it is a 1/1 counter. It's just like, nope, would never, ever remember that in paper. Hey, Brock Speed, thanks for the 7-month resub there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Not drawing the land was the cumulative probability hitting. Where will you be when the cumulative probability hits? Where, chat? Where? Next turn, this thing turns into an 8/8 and just like 8/8 with trample and just like trucks on in. Cumulative probability is a bad joke based on something that someone tweeted at me at one point that they were very serious about. Cumulative probability is also known as the gambler's fallacy or the law of large averages. If you're familiar with those terms, is there other ways I would refer to cumulative probability? I think I want these sleeps. Maybe I don't want, maybe I just want to trade Pierce for sleep. I think that's probably it. I've been incredibly unlucky all day, so I'm due. Seems very reasonable. Walker into Branchwalker is, you got the old Texas Ranger into Walker here, so. Yeah, the gambler's fallacy is you keep playing, you eventually win. If you're incredibly unlucky for an extended period of time, you're due to be lucky. Mr. Manad, I totally did. Thanks for the 7 months. Still enjoying all the work you put in. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for the support. Thanks for keeping me around. Sorry, I'm unorganized. No lava coil. All right, let's draw Jadelight Ranger here and run away with the game. It must have been way back, Jesus. Don't you scare me. You must have not put the notification through, Jesus, if you did it today. It's not on my list. I have a log of everybody that put one in today. Yeah, I'm the one with the health gain here, so I'm gonna go ahead and just attack with this. Is it worth playing the untapped lander up Spell Pierce? Nah, I don't think so. That's such a small thing. It's almost never right to spend resources to bluff like that. 4/4s that draw a card are real good. Sure, but no, so like, you're saying I should play the Harbor untapped now, and you're right, that's not a direct cost, but later, I'm gonna have to pay 2. So you're saying I should put it into play later rather than now? Alright, they have their climb, which is really scary. No, I think those cards are actually great, Andrew. I'm super high on Spell Pierce in the main deck right now. I think that card's quite fantastic. Alright, so what do I want to do here? So yeah, I could climb plus Growth Chamber Guardian and get another Growth Chamber Guardian, but I think I actually want to climb, put a counter on Wildgrowth Walker, because I kind of want to get this climb flipped over so I can like raise / block them. And like having like these random poopy 3/3s doesn't really accomplish much, right? I'm gonna go ahead and attack with this, because I think I'm happy if they trade here or double block. And I should have attacked with this pre-combat before showing them what I was going to do, so my sequencing here is bad, but I think I'm still happy with either trade they're willing to make. I'm just, like, letting them make this trade with more information now, which sucks. Thank you for the 10 months, Hangman. Hope you're having a good one. If they have a fight worm here, we're gonna be in trouble. Just a Krasis, that's good for me. Oh, that's true. That's true. So I should have waited to play this though. How defensive do I want to be here? Pretty. I think I want to be pretty defensive. Killing their big creature so they have a worse wing temple doesn't seem unreasonable. Although I don't really have a lot of resources left other than this, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and gain 5 here. I'm just going to gain 5 here. That's a Merfolk Branchwalker. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna do this. It's potentially very useful. I'm gonna go ahead and flip this climb over. Did I just 10 them here? I think I just 10 them here. And then, like, next turn, I can play an X6 Krasis. And, like, I'm at 26 here, so We should be in an okay spot to not die to them before our 6/6 Krasis can, like, jump on the Winged Temple and soar over and punch them. If they're playing a build similar to what we've played previously, then they're playing Lava Coil and they're playing Ravager Worm. I think I'm gonna double block at this point. Now I have enough going on with my mana. This double block is fine. And if they want to use Winged Temple this turn, I think I'm okay with that. Like, yeah. So, like, obviously they could use Winged Temple to, like, eat both my creatures there, but then they're using most of their mana this turn, eating both my creatures and not answering the problem that they have on the board. What are the classes and races you and your boss like playing in D&D? I don't know what Christy likes to play. It's been a long time since I've played D&D. This screams Incubation to me, right? Like, I feel like they're trying to get me to use the Winged Temple and use my mana this turn. I think this is about to turn into a 3/3. Yeah. There's some goodies. And you get a lizard, and you get a lizard. Everybody's a lizard. These things trample, I forget. No, those are the dinosaur tokens that trample, right? You're a lizard, Gary. They have a worm here? If they have a worm here, we could be in trouble. Big creases, yep. I'm one mana short of killing them this turn. Oh, I also can't flip this, never mind. The sleep plus pump is only 9.
No one said restoration was painless.
I don't think it's time to sleep, chat. I think it's just Vivien shoot, hit you for 6. And then I play this out. And if I hit, did I play a land already this turn? I did play a land this turn already, right? I think I just hold up Incubation and Incongruity and, like, keep Vivien alive. I think I want to diversify my threats. Sleep plus Hadana buff on token was lethal. That's not true. Spells cost mana. 6 would have been 7. Yeah, not enough mana for that. Do I hold? I think I just hold Incongruity up here. Putting another threat into play seems fine as well. I'm just gonna put another threat into play. I think having another attacker for next turn is valuable.
I've seen worse.
Yeah, that's true. Showing them Krasis could, like, put sleep out of their mind as a card they're worried about. Wow, Ravager Worm is good in the mirror. Wow, Ravager Worm is good in the mirror. They're dead because I have sleep. Sleep is also good in the mirror, but I hadn't considered that Ravager Worm kills the land. I hadn't considered that Ravager Worm kills the land in the mirror. Alright. We did it! Woo! We did it! Climbed into Mythic, chat. Look at us. Look at us. I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. Look at us, 531. We're such a powerful wizard, chat. Swaza, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Victory bots, yes! Rap on blue-green climb. I genuinely don't know how I feel about this build versus the teamer build. For those of you that didn't see the teamer build basically cuts these 2 Zeganas in the main deck Vivien Reid and puts 3 Ravager Worms in the main deck and then plays some red cards in the sideboard and Lava Coil. And that might be worthwhile. It's actually what we just played against in that last match. Honestly, Thrash Threat was kind of impressive to me. I kind of want to try the teamer build with like 2 Lava Coil, 2 Thrash Threat in the sideboard, just because being able to cast the threat half of this in some matchups seems like it would be very reasonable. One thing that we tried towards the end that we actually never got to board in and see is, I think I want to test Frilled Mystic in the sideboard of this deck again. The Nexus of Gates matchup and the Gates decks in general felt a little bit tough, and I think having a counterspell that I could find off of both Vivien and Incubation would be valuable in those matchups. But if you're looking for, people like to ask me, I know I play a lot of viewer-submitted decks on this stream. People like to ask, what would I play if I was only trying to win? I really like this archetype in general. This blue-green with an X, like maybe Teamer, maybe some other splash. Climb, like this core of magic cards. Like, these Spell Piercers are a little bit cheeky, but like this is basically what I consider the core of this deck. So like, these 8 cards, these 12, these 7, like, Krasis. So like, these are like my 6, like, flex spots in the archetype that I feel like you can fill a bunch of different puzzle pieces into depending on how you want to be, or these 5 slots, these 5 slots, how you want to be cheeky, what decks you want to hedge, stuff like that. But this core, that's this blue-green core, I think is very, very good. So if you're looking for something cool to like tool around with, I think this core is very reasonable. Bash Gooder with the 14-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I'm gonna go ahead and be done for the day. We've been up for 3.5 hours. I'm gonna go hang out with the kids and the wife for a little while, eat some lunch. Thanks everyone for hanging out. I plan to be back every day this week for a minimum of 9 hours. I start about 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday, and I go till 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'll catch all of y'all around later, and everybody have a good one. Remember, if you want to see more content from myself, you can find it on my website and my YouTube channel. And if you want to stay on Twitch, I'm going to find someone else streaming Standard Constructed to host here. Nox is live. I'm going to send y'all over his way. Enjoy.